I'm here again with Dr. Mark Ofua, and we're about to continue our conversation about our wildlife in Nigeria and how we can preserve them. Now, I'm looking at the social media at Wild African Fund. So in a post, it said over 70% of human diseases originated from animals. There are mixed feelings and opinions in the comment section. Some people are saying, keep them wild, keep us safe. Not every bushmeat we should consume. With this rate of deadly diseases without cure, these days, humans shouldn't be eating any bushmeat in the forest. Some people are saying, we eat them and we'll be fine, they are drugs. So what do you think about this? And also the follow-up question is, what diseases come from animals?
Diseases that we can catch from animals are called zoonoses or zoonotic diseases. Over 70% of human diseases that we deal with today originate from animals. So these diseases have been with us for a while. We are used to them. We have drugs and treatment for them. But the danger now is because we keep going into the wild to catch these animals, there is the danger of bringing animals with diseases that we have not been introduced to yet, that we do not have immunity to, we do not have drugs to. Now, these are going to be very devastating. I did research on pangolins recently, and I found about 70-something bacteria that pangolins were carrying. These things go to the bushmeat market. Now, on the table where the pangolin is, there's a dead monkey, there's a dead civet, there's a crocodile, there's a snake. These diseases, they have an opportunity to mix. And then the people handling them, you think you're touching grass cutter, but the grass cutter has been with pangolin, has been with monkey, has been with XYZ. So you see, when we bring these animals into our markets, the bushmeat market, the traditional markets, we're exposing ourselves to these diseases. Ebola virus. I remember how it came to Nigeria and we froze with fear. Lassa fever. Now, if a lot of people haven't heard about Lassa fever, but I tell you, Lassa fever has killed more people in Nigeria than the COVID-19 virus did. HIV, do you know it's of animal origin?
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. It's of animal origin. There is monkeypox. It's in Nigeria, it's resident. And then one that came in very recent, anthrax. All these are diseases that are contracted from our inordinate relationship with bushmeat. Now, let me tell you one interesting part. Nature has another line of defense it puts in place to protect humanity. Animals like scavengers, for example, the vultures. Now, the vulture has a very interesting stomach. It's highly acidic, and they can eat anything, and it really doesn't affect them. So when animals with these diseases, anthrax and all that, when they die, vultures eat them up, and that's the end of the anthrax.
Oh, wow.
But by the time we killed all the vultures and decimate them, you find out that when these animals die with these diseases, you have other scavengers like rodents, wild dogs, wild pigs come to eat these animals.
And humans eat them.
And humans eat them, or they pass them to our domestic animals and all this, and then we get them. That's how anthrax came in. So you find out that we are actually undoing ourselves by disturbing nature, distorting nature, and killing these animals.
Wow. Wow. Once again, you have heard, you have listened. Same way I'm learning. You guys, I hope you guys are also learning. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, Lekon. A pleasure.
I know we all love meat. That's some serious goat meat. Goat meat, chicken meat, cow meat, and pomo. Because some of you think that because I'm doing this advert, I don't eat meat, I eat meat. But not all meat is good for consumption. Pangolins, no. Monkeys, no. Crocodiles, no. Snakes, no. If we continue to eat them, they'll disappear. So please, say no to illegal bushmeat. Because protecting nature protects all of us.
partners of Mike Bamidele's ministries. For more information, call or www.victorylifeministriesinternational.org. Until next broadcast, victory is yours.
Television gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to 1,000,000 images in 1,000,000 brains. People say video killed the radio star, but here in Osun State, radio is very much alive and thriving. It is not just about tuning in. It is about tapping into the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Welcome to Rave 91.7 FM, where the airwaves come alive with a symphony of voices, music, and ideas.
Nestled in the heart of Osogbo, this station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV. With hyper-local reach and language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and English languages, ensuring that everyone feels represented and included.
Built on a tested and trusted system, WSTV upholds the value of truth and integrity, serving as a beacon of objectivity in a sea of media noise.
We reflect on the journey that brought us here, from humble beginnings to a trusted source of information and inspiration. WSTV stands as a testament to the power of media to inform, educate, and empower. So join us as we continue to break barriers, challenge norms, and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive media landscape. Western Spring Television, where every story matters.
Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. It is indeed a beautiful day, and you're very much welcome to the week-ending edition of Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is where the conversation that matters happen. By the way, on the program, we look at the headlines. These are juicy stories from the major dailies, and of course, we then get talking. And by the way, 11th of October, a day like this is a very special day, especially for the girl child, because it is the International Day of the Girl Child. It is a day set aside, to celebrate the girl child, the female gender all over the world, and to have conversations around what has to do with the young child. In this case, we're talking about girls. And so, if you have a girl, happy International Day to you, the young child or the adult, maybe some women are still some people's children. And so happy International Day of the Girl Child to you as well. And to fathers that have girls, that have wives that were once a girl, and, your wife will always be your girl. Happy International Day to all the women, especially the young children. So today, Morning Spring, this special edition is dedicated to the girl child, and we'll be having conversation with a very important guest to discuss matters that has to do with the girl child today here on Morning Spring. Trust us to do justice to everything that we'll talk about here. Femi Ojo is my name, and I'm not the only one here, but you get to meet my co-anchor after this break. It's the Morning Spring of Western Spring Television. Once again, happy International Day of the Girl Child. We take this breather. When we come back, the program will continue. Stay with us.
Nigeria still has some breathtaking natural areas and national parks. These forests and wild places help maintain healthy ecosystems, clean rivers, rainfall, and even the oxygen we breathe. But if we allow our wildlife to be poached and our forests to be cut illegally, we may lose this forever. So let's do the right thing. Tell your families and friends not to buy illegal bushmeat or illegal timber from our protected forests. It's time to save our wildlife and forests in order to protect our natural heritage. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
Kiriji War, also known as Ekiti Parappa War, was waged among Yoruba main ethnic groups which emerged from the ruins of the falling Oyo Empire that were desperate to replace the awesome powers hitherto wielded by the Alaafin of Oyo. The Kiriji War is defined as a conflict of confederacy and unitary political system championed by Yorubas of different socio-economic and political interests. The Ibadan military aristocrats felt they deserved a dominant position for saving Yoruba land from being totally submerged by the Fulanis by their victory in Oshobo War of 1840 and Ijaye War of 1862. Kiriji War, that took its name from the booming motor sounds of European arms, festered for so long because the Industrial Revolution in Europe provoked high standards of slaves. The 16-year Civil War also caused the emergence of new powerful kingdoms like Ibadan and the rise of powerful personalities like Oluyole, Ogunmola, Kurumi, Latosha, Shodeke, Fabumi, and Ogedengbe. One of the fallouts of Kiriji War was the birth of creative political and leadership structure in Yoruba land that was a blend of federalism and autocratic monarchical system. Western Spring Television identifies Kiriji War as a watershed event.
Nigeria still has some breathtaking natural areas and national parks. These forests and wild places help maintain healthy ecosystems, clean rivers, rainfall, and even the oxygen we breathe. But if we allow our wildlife to be poached and our forests to be cut illegally, we may lose this forever. So let's do the right thing. Tell your families and friends not to buy illegal bushmeat or illegal timber from our protected forests. It's time to save our wildlife and forests in order to protect our natural heritage. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
Kiriji War, also known as Ekiti Parappa War, was waged among Yoruba main ethnic groups which emerged from the ruins of the falling Oyo Empire that were desperate to replace the awesome powers hitherto wielded by the Alaafin of Oyo. The Kiriji War is defined as a conflict of confederacy and unitary political system championed by Yorubas of different socio-economic and political interests. The Ibadan military aristocrats felt they deserved a dominant position for saving Yoruba land from being totally submerged by the Fulanis by their victory in Oshobo War of 1840 and Ijaye War of 1862. Kiriji War, that took its name from the booming motor sounds of European arms, festered for so long because the Industrial Revolution in Europe provoked high standards of slaves. The 16-year Civil War also caused the emergence of new powerful kingdoms like Ibadan and the rise of powerful personalities like Oluyole, Ogunmola, Kuromi, Latosha, Shodeke, Fabumi, and Ogedengbe. One of the fallouts of Kiriji War was the birth of creative political and leadership structure in Yoruba land that was a blend of federalism and autocratic monarchical system. Western Spring Television identifies Kiriji War as a watershed event.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Just like I said earlier, every conversation here today will be about the women folk. And by the way, you can see me donning the pink as well. There's somebody in the studio whose pink is blinding. Good morning, Lady Pinky.
Good morning, Femi. How are you doing?
Very well.
I mean, it's a beautiful day, not just because
Before
it's Friday.
That, happy International Day of the Gay Child to you.
All right, thank God you said that earlier.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, today is a beautiful day, not just because it's Friday. You know, Fridays are my best days. Right. TGI, thank God it's Friday, but it's the International Day of the Girl Child, and today all over the world people celebrate the girl child and also lend their voices to ensure that girls everywhere, irrespective of their background, their race, color, nationality, get the best of life. So today is a very beautiful day. I love the fact that girls, you know, are getting the necessary awareness they should get at this time. My name is Evelyn Ohiole. I am a girl. Femi said earlier, I'm my mommy's girl, yeah, and also someone else's girl, by the way. Happy International Day of the Girl Child to everyone out there, to every child, to everyone who is actually aspiring to be better.
Yeah, exactly. You know, somebody's girl. Okay, we'll have that conversation later. And by the way you are going all along,
But you have girls too now.
That's it. No, I have them enough in my house.
No.
You know, when I was leaving home, I gave them enough and say, Happy International Day to you girls. And when you come back, you got me something good. By the way, and that will be the conversation today. Conversations around the girl child. But right now, we'll head straight to what the papers have for us today, and we have them here. And I'll be starting with The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper will be my first point of call. War against corruption, where anti-graft eagle turns a blind eye to sacred cows. War against corruption, where anti-graft eagle turns a blind eye to sacred cows. You should remember this conversation, Evelyn. The eagle with a blind eye. You know, the Guardian says a blind eye. Yeah. But on a previous program,
it wasn't one eye.
It's a one-eyed eagle. By the way, even in this picture, is still a one-eye eagle, and it seems the one eye is even a blind one, and that's what the Guardian is saying. You could see the picture of the eagle, wearing the colors of the EFCC, holding something, but it appears graft. Another bird has escaped through the net of that particular eagle. And you want detail of this particular description, pick up a copy of the paper, really. And here, my husband, not greedy, working for better future. All right, that's the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu there, speaking on behalf of her husband, expectedly so. But it is the take of the Nigerians, by the way, to decide, if actually that is the truth. But then that's what a wife will do. Now, moving on, article CUPP, TUC, others knock Tinubu over handling of fuel subsidy. News page 6 hashtag. And Shatima, Kalu, Abiodun decry rising population of uneducated kids of action. That will be part of our conversation today on educated children. It seems that Scourge, it's a sad one that the percentage is just increasing, and this one is coming from Vice President Shatima, Kalu, Abiodun, and they all decrying rising population. I just would say, don't just decry. What exactly are you doing to improve the situation in concrete terms? Now, don't dare military defense headquarters wants Asari Dokubo. Don't dare military defense headquarters wants Asari Dokubo. Interesting take here, by the way. Even I'm not sure if actually you've seen that story in which the defense headquarters officially, their spokesperson, spoke to what they are calling daring of the military by former warlord in the Niger Delta, Mujahideen Asari Dokubo, daring the military that, in that video that he said he saw helicopters or choppers or jets of the military hovering around his house, and if actually they don't, get away from his house, he has enough capacity to bring them down, and they should not just provoke him, an individual, non-state actor, not even a governor, not even a senator, not a president, not even a local government chairman in official capacity says, remove your planes or I'll do something to you people. And the Nigerian military responded to him and said, don't dare. It was looking more like a clownery, if I may use that particular thing. Somebody is telling you he has the capacity to bring down a military plane. Yeah. He has so many times displayed very dangerous weapons on live videos. Yeah. And the military is now warning. Yeah. They are warning an Asari Dokubo that you should not dare also. I don't know if actually there is any meaning to that. Like an institution of the state is warning an individual. How powerful can an individual be?
The saying, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Really? So, I mean, the warning has to go before the harming. So it doesn't look like them going after Asari Dokubo would be witch hunting or something. So they have to first warn him.
Yeah, play the devil.
I remember watching a video of Asari and he was really talking tough and he had ammunition around him. And okay, it wasn't with him before, but when it got to the heat of the moment, he just grabbed one and said, "Don't try us!" And someone at the background
was displayed so many.
Someone at the background was telling him to take it off. He said, "Don't tell me that! Don't tell me that!" That's to tell you that he has this.
I've seen a video in which he paraded more than one weapon.
Yeah, and
military.
Are they telling us that he has license for all of these weapons?
Yes, an individual.
But then the warning
in a particular video, there was a place that was on his balcony, and there are 2 soldiers wearing uniform, giving healings to the man. And this individual now that is talking this way, the Nigerian military, the state, if actually how these things making me to cringe, is warning an individual that you should not dare us.
It's because the harm is coming soon. Let's just give it to the Nigerian military.
Really? Yeah. Interesting one there. Moving on, let me just round up from this end. Reps kick against multiple tax burdens on Nigerians. Many persons say we've had it before. What's new? That will be all from The Guardian.
All right, from The Guardian newspaper this morning, we head on to The Punch. The Punch newspaper this Friday morning is talking majorly. I mean, that big, bold headline is on the petrol price hike. Ipman tackles NNPCL, threatens to stop operations with the riders. Marketers accuse NNPCL of inflating Dangote petrol price. Memon continues loading subsidized PMS. And still on the Punch newspaper, Sanwo-Olu inspects ongoing 7-story New Mercy Children Hospital. And really, I feel this is a very good one. Hospital for children, for kids. It's something we need in our country. Kudos to Lagos State. Data voice services fetch MTN Airtel 3.6 trillion naira. And, you know, there's this popular saying, Femi, that in Nigeria, if you don't have anything at all, have data. They'll tell you, use your last card to buy data, because with data, even if you're going through depression, you know, yesterday was the World Mental Health Day, you will see something online to laugh about. And I told something.
And if you're not careful as well, your data might land you in depression.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and I told someone yesterday that the only reason why we do not have high rate of suicide in Nigeria is because we laugh a lot. Really, truly, we laugh a lot. Even at things that should make us hungry, we have a way of turning it into cruise.
Humor, content,
and
money.
We just laugh about it.
Right.
But of course, there are some big guys that are cashing out from all of that, as we can see on the Punch newspaper this morning. MTN, Airtel, data voice services fetched them about 3.6 trillion naira. A Lebanese jailed 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. Lebanese jailed 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. All right, that's a good one. At least there is conviction for that act. And I think if we are talking about this, Femi, I think we should focus more even on child marriage. We can say, okay, there was a consent of the parents to give this girl out in marriage to this older person or to another teenager, but we should also understand
the consent of the
girl child. And below 18, the girl really doesn't have any consent to give. Yeah, so I think we should not just play selective justices. Let whatever it is that is happening in the South against child marriage and sexually exploiting teenage girls.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Then if others do it, then it's a crime.
Exactly. Why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo, DHQ? You know, on The Guardian, they were warning. On the Punch here, they are giving reasons why they have not yet gone after Asari Dokubo. You can get more details of that on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. Nolgay threatens a suit over governor's bill to control LG funds. Nolgay threatens suit over governor's bill to control LG funds. 7 banks pay 392 billion naira tax. This is according to a report. Fulbara heads to Supreme Court as appeal court affirms pro-Wike lawmakers. Fulbara heads to Supreme Court as appeal court affirms pro-Wike lawmakers. And Oyedepo's 2 deputies step down next week. Oyedepo's 2 deputies step down next week. That will be all from the Punch newspaper this morning. And I'm talking about Oyedepo. You saw the rating of universities. I mean, it's a digression from what we have, but it just popped up in my head. What number was your university? Did it make the first top 10?
Let's go back to where we are here.
Top 20?
By the way.
I mean, top 30?
Next is the Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay. You would not answer.
You know what you are doing.
What am I doing?
For security reasons.
I mean, you can check up University of Benin on the list, by the way.
Wendy.
We made the top 10.
Let's go back to why we are here. Really. There are things you don't divulge for security reasons, by the way. For the reasons of intelligence. All right. Daily Trust is next. Daily Trust newspaper. Ipman tackles NNPCL over new petrol price. say oil firm bought product for 899 naira, but sells at over 1,000 naira per liter. These are the issues, by the way. When NNPCL, said this is how much the fuel is going to be, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, and then Dangote Refinery said that's not correct. People came at them and said, even I asked them as well, come with the real price, but they have not been able to do that even till now. But marketers are speaking to say there is something fishy there, and it will come down. Trading arm of National Oil Company, all right, and streets deserted as workers, students trek. And this one is not for exercise, it's not for, for fitness, it's circumstantial. And Atiku knocks Tinubu, Amechi calls for protest. Atiku knocks Tinubu, Amechi calls for protest. And TUC seeks reversal of hike. And of course, you could see the picture, almost deserted, and some commuters on the streets looking for help or means of transportation. These are the issues. Out of school children, threat to national security. Shatima. And here Plateau local government poll turns violent as protesters burn motorcycles, and Borno confirms escape of 6 repentant insurgents. Borno confirmed escape of 6 repentant insurgents in Nigeria, right? You have every reason to laugh. How can a repentant insurgent be escaping?
That's what we talk about, the laughter part. I told you, Nigerians will laugh a lot.
How can a repentant insurgent escape? How repentant was that insurgent? And bandits appoint deposed village heads in my community. Sokoto local government chair is saying bandits appoint and they depose village heads in his community. These are the issues. Now, not that they are roaming free in some parts of the country, they are not appointing village heads and deposing as well. Through which powers, by the way? And you see the handlers of the government supporters, especially at the national level, saying no flag of the bandits are hoisted on any territory of the Nigerian space, and they are only operating in the fringes of Lake Chad. These are the issues. And we are seeing this right now. Not something that we are proud about, but then we should do better. Soldier starts police inspector to death in Lagos. NFIU raises concerns over inflow of weapons from Libya. And appeal court opposed pro-Wike lawmakers, River Speaker, voice budget. Another drama loading in the series, by the way. Or, let me say another season loading in the drama series, by the way. It is Amaule. People are saying Wike wins again. And to some of us, it's sounding laughable. This is not about individuals winning. There is a country to run.
There is a
constitution to uphold. There is a state to govern. And we are hearing, Fubara wins today, Wike wins tomorrow. Where does that leave the people?
When will the people win? Because I say it all the time, the biggest loser
are the people.
The biggest winner will be the people.
And so what?
Things work
when will Rivers people win? When will Nigerian people win in all of these? These are the issues.
Yeah, and it speaks to the docility of Nigerians as a people, because naturally that should get you angered as a reverse person. I don't know what they call themselves. What do they call them? Is it riverines?
No.
Okay. Or rivals, whatever. But that should actually get them angry enough to say enough is enough. If both of you would not sheath your sword, then the people will come out and demand what they want, which is true governance. I mean, it's because I feel it's because the people are quiet in all of these. That's why the governor and his predecessor are having a free day. It's really
Another angle is the angle of the judiciary. Court orders everywhere. Politicians know how to just like you want to go to a mart or a store to say, and you are sure that you are going to get it. Just go there, give me another expert. Amaole wins again, so Wike has won at the appeal court or so, and then you are waiting for the battle royale, possibly at the Supreme Court. These are some of the issues that, just like Evelyn said, and I agree completely, when will the people of Rivers win? When will Nigerians win these issues that leaders seems it's all about themselves, power, structure, influence. They want to emerge as the number one. But then it is what it is. Back to the matter. We did this quick break now. This is where we take a pause. And when we come back, we'll be speaking to Everything Girl this morning. Very interesting topic it will be for our precious women, girls, ladies, female gender. Stay with us.
Our pangolins are in crisis. They need our help. Hundreds of pangolins are killed for their meat and scales every year. If we continue this way, we risk losing them forever. Tell your family and friends to say no to illegal bushmeat from pangolins, because protecting nature protects us all.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever is pounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast, detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Badamasi Adegoke Adelabu was a prominent figure in Ibadan politics and Western region before Nigeria's independence. He was a key founder of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, a political party that held lofty the torch of liberty for the two West African countries. He carved a niche for himself as a wordsmith and a creative speaker. The nickname Kwenkelemens was a natively corrupted version of peculiar mess, his bombastic English language style often used to score proceedings at the parliament. The author of Africa in Ebullition, a handbook of freedom for Nigerian nationalists, was Nigeria's Federal Minister of Natural Resources and Social Services between 1955 and 1956. He died in an auto crash on the 25th March 1958 at the age of 42. Western Spring Television identifies Adegoke Adelabu as a watershed character in history.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Up to 75% of all new human diseases come from animals. Ebola, anthrax, and monkeypox all came from animals. And as more dead wild animals are being transported to our cities, we risk introducing another disease outbreak. This will affect our health, economy, and well-being. So say no to illegal bushmeat, because protecting nature protects us all.
Can you imagine the feeling when you get your news as they break with facts and clarity? Our news are reported as it is.
In Africa, and all those who masterminded the way it happened will have to pay a price.
Enjoy Western programs, projecting culture and tradition to the world. Broadcast break and recap for your
Follow Nigeria to improve your welfare. It's of paramount importance to me.
Produced and brought to you in a unique way never before seen.
Western Spring.
Western Spring.
And Western Spring Television. Television is coming home in your color and culture.
Ahmadu Bello, a Prince Royal, was born 6th of December 1910 at Raba Village, Sokoto, northwestern Nigeria. His father was a district head and heir apparent to the Sultanate throne from the house of Usmanu Dan Fodio, a religious and social reformer who brought the Habib dynasty under the Fulani Caliphate in the beginning of the 19th century. Ahmadu Bello raised the bar of political consciousness in participation when, in 1944, he engineered the establishment of the Northern People's Congress (NPC) as the first political party in northern Nigeria and the rallying point for politicians in the region before independence. History will not forget Ahmadu Bello for his charisma and political sagacity, which provided easy passage for his kinsmen to assume political and administrative positions in Nigeria's post-independence era. The distinguished elder statesman and Sardauna of Sokoto has his face on his country's 200 naira currency as a mark of honor to one of the architects of Nigeria's independence. Western Spring Television identifies Ahmadu Bello as a watershed character in history.
Welcome back to The Conversation. This is The Conversation on Morning Spring. It's a special edition because it's International Day of the Girl Child. Every October 11 marks the International Day of the Girl Child, a global celebration of girls' rights, achievements, and potential. This day serves as a reminder of the importance of creating a world where girls can thrive, grow, and reach their full potential. This year's theme is Girls' Vision for the Future. Despite progress, girls worldwide continue to face numerous challenges: limited access to education and healthcare, child marriage and early pregnancy, gender-based violence and discrimination, limited economic opportunities. But today, we still celebrate girls who dare to dream, girls who break stereotypes and challenge norms, girls who inspire and uplift their communities, girls who will shape the future. We celebrate the strength, resilience, and potential of girls worldwide. To commemorate this day, we are joined by one who started as a girl somewhere in a location in Nigeria with just dreams and aspirations, but today has gone ahead to become a woman of substance and value. The wife of Osun State Governor and founder Esther Adeleke Humanitarian Foundation is right here with us in the studio, Erelu Ngozi Adeleke. Good morning, ma'am, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy International Girls' Day to you as well.
We thank God we're here today again to celebrate.
Yeah.
So let me just begin this way. How do you feel being one who started as a girl and looking through your journey where you are right now? I'm sure there was a time as a girl you aspired to be something, you aspired to be someone, you had dreams, big dreams. So I just want to get into your feelings now, how you feel being that girl many years ago and now a woman.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers. Like I said before, Ngozi was once a girl. and it felt very good. Today, I feel very happy, very good. When I look back, I remember those days when I used to be a girl. I remember when my mom used to whip me for doing one thing bad or the other, chase me around and yell at me. And do you understand? Yeah. Well, you know, growing up as a girl child, it was beautiful, it was sweet. Do you understand? Because I grew up being loved. I was shown love, I was shown care, I was pampered because I grew up in the midst of my brothers, elder brothers, who pampered me so much, never allowed anyone to, you know, come near me, talk less of touching me. They treated me like a real girl child I was then, that deserves every care, every love. And celebrating International Day today, every day, every time it's International Girls Child like this, I feel very proud, very happy, remembering my own old days when I used to be a small girl. All right. And today I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I must say I'm grateful to God Almighty, who made it so that I've been able to surpass all challenges that a girl child usually faces in this country of ours, and to navigate till getting to this age of my life at this point in time. It's only the grace of God, I will say. Do you understand? So I have every reason to say thank you, God, for bringing me thus this far.
All right. One would say you were privileged with the kind of upbringing that you had as a girl child, but Your Excellency, you and I, we know and understand that not all girls have this privilege, have this opportunity to have a family of love, full of love, older brothers that take care of them, parents, you know, that were there for them. Some actually grew up as women from a very young age. Now, the theme for this year is very instructive, girls' vision for the future. For you, when you saw this theme, what was it like for you? How instructive was it for you, especially looking at home, what we have right now in Nigeria, girls' vision for the future?
For me, my own vision for every girl in this world, narrow it down to Nigeria and back to my state, Osun State, for me is a good life for every girl child, a loving, caring life, good education, good job, then later good husband, begin to build a good home. For me, is everything good, everything exceptional, everything loving and caring for a girl child. Because every girl deserves love, to be loved. Every girl deserves to be shown love and care. Deserve to be pampered like egg that they are. Do you understand? For me, in this state, is everything good for my girls. Starting from good education, you get good career, you get good husband, you begin to build that your dream good family. For me, a girl is not supposed to just enter into early marriage without being tutored, without going through some levels of life. Life is a process. You have to go through that process of growth.
There are different phases.
Different phases that will shape you up, that will give you experience, that will help you to cope in life. But when a girl is not allowed to go through those processes, it's a big problem. You see a girl, a growing child that's supposed to be in school, is either she's walking on the road or she has been pushed into early marriage. It's a big problem. And it's part of what causes our problem in the society today. I believe that every girl child should be given that privilege of going through that primary education, which is the basics. Do you understand? And that's why I like to say, with the hardship we are facing in this country, I will employ government at all cadres to at least grant our children free primary education. Free primary education to allow every child, not only a girl child this time, every child to have the privilege of acquiring the basic education, because that's where education starts. Free primary education for all Nigerian children in this country. And I also want my husband to introduce it, to start it in this Osun State. Free primary education, because with what is going on now, you can see most families are withdrawing their children from school because of hardship, because they can't cope. They can't even put food on the table for the family, talk less of paying for school fees. So if our government giving palliative, sharing rice, sharing beans, sharing food cannot help us. But when you declare free primary education, which is the basics, it will go a long way to shape up our society, to shape up the life of our world.
All right. And very interesting, the point you have just made now, Erelu Adeleke, that you are urging government at all levels, at least the primary level
free primary
education should be free. And one would say, naturally speaking, charity starts at home. How is that going? Are you having that conversation with His Excellency? Because the number one man here is the policy director, is the number one protector of the girl child in this state. So are you having that conversation?
Yes, it's ongoing. It's a vision. We are on it. But I pray by God's grace, it's going to take the grace of God. I know it's going to be difficult for him because Osun State,
the decision maker.
Yes, because Osun State, I know I'm in the area of finance. You know, Osun State is not an oil producing state. Osun State does not have big blue chip companies that pays taxes here. Practically nothing. He made so much debt on ground, which has been clearing in the area of pensioners' money, salaries, and to God be the glory, has been able to start paying them slowly but surely. That's where I'm looking at. Do you understand? But by God's grace, I'm saying God, by God's grace, it's not going to be by my power or by the power of any human being, but the grace of God, he will be able to do it. He should do it. That's why I said when I started that I want my husband to start it. Let him initiate it. Declaring free primary education for every free for every child. I'm not talking about secondary education, but at least primary. Do you understand? Primary for all children.
That they don't get to pay anything.
Don't get to pay anything. And we should subsidize
paid for
books.
Yeah.
Do you understand? On top of it, government should be able to subsidize science books, textbooks at all levels for primary education.
How soon can we have this?
I wouldn't know. I'm not the maker, the decision maker here. Mine is advocate.
But you're a person of influence. That's what we ask.
I'm advocating it for Osun State.
All right.
By God's grace, my husband will attend to it.
All right. We'll hold you by your word and His Excellency as well. So that possibly next year, if you are here for this same program, we'll be able to share the testimony and not just to be back at the place of planning,
advocating,
and implementation and advocation.
By His grace.
Yeah, really, the United Nations, speaking about this matter today, said the theme gets vision for the future. And this year's theme, their words, conveys both the need for urgent action and persistent hope, driven by the power of girls' voices and vision for the future. Today's generation of girls is disproportionately affected by global crisis of climate, conflict, poverty, and pushback on hard-won gains for human rights and gender equality. Too many girls are still denied their rights, restricting their choices and limiting their futures. Yet, recent analysis shows that girls are not only courageous in the face of crises, but hopeful for the future. Every day, they are taking action to realize a vision of a world in which all girls are protected, respected, and empowered. Now, but girls cannot realize this vision alone. They need allies who listen to and respond to their needs. These are the words of the United Nations. Now, you started by saying you were privileged to have people who protected you. You are soldiers as brothers who guided you. Your parents gave you what you want. some ladies, some girls started as not being wanted.
Yeah.
In the first place. There are girls that when they were born, their parents, quote unquote, doesn't want them to be a girl. If you understand what I'm saying. They were expecting boy. All of a sudden they saw a girl. So from their day one, they have not been wanted. They have not been taken care of. They have been disenfranchised from anything good in this life. And they are still part of our society. And the United Nations is saying, even those girls, they still try in the face of challenges, but they cannot do it alone. Now, for somebody watching Anirelu Adeleke this morning, sharing her background, and she's saying, oh Lord, I wish this is my story, but unfortunately, that is not a story. Having that consciousness of not being wanted, how can you speak to such a girl that, irrespective of how you started, what she's been consistently told as maybe you are just an addition. We know we didn't really want you. What would be your message to such a girl watching you,
right now
this morning?
My advice to such a person that finds, such a girl that finds herself in this precarious situation is, girl, believe in yourself. And is whatever you called yourself, that's what you are. Irrespective of whether your parent or anybody, whatever anybody is saying, what you are saying to yourself is what matters. You need to be encouraged this morning. You need to brace up to face whatever challenge that is facing you this morning. Remember that there are people like me out there who feels you, who is praying for you, because I'll keep praying for such girls. And for parents that treat their children that way, you are not God. That's what I want to tell you today. You cannot treat any girl child in such a manner, because you cannot create life. You should be grateful, because as I speak to you today, there are parents that have been looking for that opportunity to have even a child that they can call their own, be it a boy or a girl, but to no avail. For you that have been blessed with a child, whether a boy or a girl, please embrace them, love them, show them love and care.
All right, so, before the girl child comes in again, by the way, United Nations here talked about that, irrespective of the challenges, a girl child, very courageous, they still soldier on, but they said they cannot do it alone. Now, let's look at the place of persons of influence like yourself. What are you doing? Because you won't be here today, I won't ask you, in your capacity as the wife of the governor, in your capacity as a woman of substance, what are you doing to help the girl child? Number one, and the place of the society in helping, protecting the girl child, because nowadays, we said it on a previous program that it appears the girl child is like an endangered species right now. Many attacks here and there, either from the place of romance, from the place of opportunities, from the place of work. Number one, what are you doing in your capacity to help the girl child and influence, a positive output for every girl child, at least in the state? And of course, you speak to the place of society in helping this matter.
In my own capacity as the wife of the governor, ever since 2022, that my husband took the mantle of this state, I have engaged in sensitizing girls. There's a project we've always embarked on together with Nigeria Youth Congress we call Pad Up a Girl Child. What we do in that Pad Up of a Girl Child is walk around secondary schools in this state. We try to cover all the secondary schools. We visit secondary schools maybe in a local government. We'll gather all the secondary school children in a particular school to sensitize them on menstrual hygiene, talk them through most of these things you've highlighted about what's happening in the society. Because let me tell you, there was a write-up or kind of breaking news I stumbled into, talking about how these evil men have gone to the level of operating young girls, carrying them from schools, operating them in the name of harvesting eggs. And I was like, oh my God, it has gotten to this level, from rape, from all manner of ill-treatment on girls in our society. Now, the issue of opening up a girl child in the name of harvesting eggs. And you can agree with me, that is killing. And I can bet you the people perpetrating this evil are not doing it with the consent of those girls. It has to be either drug them, they sleep, and they open them up and stuff like that. And you know, in the process, that child can die. And nobody will know, parents, school, nobody will give account, nobody will know what has happened to that very child. And those are the things we'll do, we'll talk to them about in this project we have. It's been on and on for a long time, and today we are going to mark this International Girls' Day 2 with another local government today, trying to sensitize the girls on menstrual hygiene and talk them through all these happenings in our society. Sensitizing them, sharing different experiences with them, that when they see danger, they will be able to say, this is danger coming.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. With the happenings in our society right now. In my own capacity, those are the little things, having talks, engaging girls, talking them through my own life experience and other women experience and stuff like that. They cannot do it on their own, like United Nations said. Sometimes those that are not schooling now try to organize skill acquisition for them. That's what I've practically done. I enrolled some in cosmetology, some of them where they learn how to do Kampala, that's Adire, soap and stuff like that.
All right, and it's
those are the
to note that as well. And you are, the second question is the place of the society. Because as this popular saying that it takes a community
to train a child.
In this case, a girl. How can our community, in the face of this, hardship that everybody is just minding their business, nobody wants to have additional burden, but how can the society help a girl to really realize their visions for the future, irrespective of what we are going through as a people? It doesn't have to be your child.
All hands have to be on deck. For example, every parent, every individual, every human being have a stake in training a child. Training a child does not start and stop only with the immediate parent of that child. Everybody can help, and the government can also help in the area of creating jobs, creating things that will favor, or policies and things that can favor girl children in this society. Do you understand? Everybody, it's the job of everybody to help. In any little way you can help. Even if you see a child now, a girl child that is not well taken care of, you can choose to talk to the father, to the mother, say, please, can I have this child living with me? Can I help? Can I be paying her school fees? Maybe you notice a child that used to go to school before and now she has dropped out. You can step in. Everybody, anybody, from whether from the church, whether from the communities where they live in, you can help if you feel you have the capacity. I'm employing all and sundry. We need to be our brothers' keepers. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. We need to help one another. If God have blessed you in the society today, you need to be a blessing unto others.
It's like, you adopting a child. You don't have to own an NGO or run a foundation.
You don't even have to bring that child in under your roof. She can be living with the parents or the caretakers while you're still taking care of her education, her clothing, and everything you can.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, you spoke about menstrual hygiene and what your foundation is doing to help girls in different local governments in Osun State to know more about menstrual hygiene and also provide them with materials or resources they need to get that through. I want to speak to the issue of social amenities as relating to the girl child. We all know that most public schools, their bathrooms or toilets
are bad.
Is nothing to write home about. For some of us that attended private schools, secondary schools, we might not really understand what it's like, but I have been to public schools. I have seen, their bathrooms, their toilets, and I understand that if a girl is having a menstrual flow, it will be a hard one for her to actually want to change pads or want to clean up herself at intervals. At the end of the day, the menstrual hygiene that you are going all about, preaching to those girls about, will be fruitless. Because at the end of the day, the bathrooms are not there, the toilets are not well managed. For some public secondary schools, they don't, or primary schools, they don't even have toilets. They make use of bushes and all of that. So how do you think, as the wife of the governor, what are you doing to ensure that this is one germane area that the government should focus on? Bathrooms, clean bathrooms and toilets in all of our public schools, primary, secondary schools. We need it, especially for the girls.
Okay. It was in the process of this Pad Up a Girl Child in one of the local government that they brought it up to me that they don't have toilets. They don't have that. Most of their girls, in fact, their children, they usually use bushes. I was like, what? The principal told me they don't have good toilets. And I inquired around that local government. They said it's the same thing. There was only one school that agreed that recently their school was revamped, and in the process they built a good toilet system, water system toilet for them. That now led me into inquiring into other local governments. It was purely the same.
Exactly.
So what we did was to start advocating for good toilets. But in Osun State, as of today, most Imole government has revamped, it has rebuilt most of the schools. Just as they have rebuilt hospitals, they have rebuilt most of the schools under Superb. And in the process, they have gotten their toilets to the standard, water system standard. Do you understand? And again, what came up again was that there was no water. They needed some boreholes. And as of today, we've made sure that there are boreholes in most of the schools, because even when you build the toilet and there are no water around for them to flush, it's still a problem. So the boreholes has been fixed. And I can tell you categorically, most of the schools, it might not be all, but most of them, they have started, the government has started, they're already on that
because I wanted to say,
process.
Not all. Yeah. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. It's an ongoing process,
many that doesn't still have.
We will get to them because it has, the most important thing is that the government has started in that direction.
All right. I mean, it's a good thing that the government has started, but we will be on it because it's one area that I am particularly interested in. All right, we'll take this break, Your Excellency. When we come back, we'll speak to more issues affecting the girl child, early marriage, early pregnancy. These are issues that has affected the girl child over the years, and Osun State is not left out. Morning Spring will be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Television gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to 1 million images in 1 million brains. People say video killed the radio star, but here in Osun State, radio is very much alive and thriving. It is not just about tuning in. It is about tapping into the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Welcome to Rave 91.7 FM, where the airwaves come alive with a symphony of voices, music, and ideas.
Nestled in the heart of Oshogbo, this station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we'll find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV. With hyper-local reach and language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and English languages, ensuring that everyone feels represented and included.
Built on a tested and trusted system, WSTV upholds the value of truth and integrity, serving as a beacon of objectivity in a sea of media noise.
We reflect on the journey that brought us here, from humble beginnings to a trusted source of information and inspiration. WSTV stands as a testament to the power of media to inform, educate, and empower. So join us as we continue to break barriers, challenge norms, and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive media landscape. Western Spring Television, where every story matters and every voice is heard.
Welcome back to Morning Spring. It's still the conversation here, and we have with us a very special guest in the studio, Ambassador Erelu Ngozi Abeni-Adeleke, wife of the Osun State Governor. Thank you for still, sticking with us. We hope you're enjoying our company.
No,
all right, Femi.
All right. Two more issues now, because the challenges and the conversation around the girl child is not one that could be exhausted in a day, by the way, but good that we are taking it one after the other. The issue of out-of-school children is one thing, quite humongous, by the way, more than 20 million, by the way. The papers had it today that many stakeholders, including Vice President Kashim Shettima, address the issue again and say government at all levels should really come, through for this scourge, because it's a scourge. When you have 20 million out of school, that's a potential disaster there, because these are people that could be used by, criminally minded adults, by the way. But that on one side, the issue of early marriage and early pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, it's one thing that is not really helping the matters, because how can a girl who has a vision to be something in life and she's working, all of a sudden, she's just grabbed out of her consent and shipped off, to a particular suitor, definitely without her consent, or possibly she's not too careful enough and she gets pregnant and the vision is shattered. How do we address these as a people and, of course, as a person of influence?
For me, Erelungozi Adeleke. Early marriage is a no-no for me. Every parent listening to me this morning should understand. You don't force a girl into marriage. When you force her into that marriage, be too sure that definitely at one point in time she will come out of that marriage. Most of the people, early marriage also, most of the people that entered into early marriage one time in life, if they're 20, let's say 10 out of 15 will definitely jump out of that marriage because they entered into that marriage at the age they were not able to decide for themselves. At the time, they were not prepared. They were not ready for such institution. Marriage is an institution where two people will agree to live together. But when you now force a girl child into following or living with somebody she did not accept to live with, it's a big problem. And it's part of what is causing most of our problems in the society today. You see divorce everywhere, children everywhere not being taken care of, single parent here and there. Do you understand? You now have a girl child, maybe run away from the husband home, whether with pregnancy or with her child. At the end of the day, that child will not be given proper attention. She too, as a little child that is having another little child, will never be okay. Can you imagine a small child having another small child? In most cases, she's having two of them, plus herself that is still a tender age girl.
Yeah.
I mean, problems it creates a whole lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it's a no-no for me and for every sane person.
The issue of, very well, fair enough. One would say that one as how about teenage pregnancy? This one now is not about the girl being forced to marry someone else. Just one careless boy and a careless girl. Yeah, there's a place of rape, but there are some of them who were not really forced. They are just careless and they get pregnant and then the old vision, because we are talking about girls having vision, flying high as much as they can. Now, you are addressing a girl who is not, for example, this morning you have opportunity to sit down with a couple of girls, just like you said you have later, as part of your program for the day or for the year, commemorating this year. You see them online, just, they are just there for the fun of it. It doesn't look like they are ready and they are not really serious. What will you say to a young girl who possibly thinks, I can enjoy my life, I live by the day, whatever comes is okay. If I get pregnant, I know what to do about it. For you as a person of influence, having opportunity to address such a girl or bevy of young girls like that this morning on the need for them to take their life seriously.
My advice for young girls in schools or anywhere you find yourself is to be careful. Value your life. Be careful with your life. You can't live reckless life saying you live your life, anything that comes out of it, you take it. No. When you have such mentality, definitely you're going to land yourself into a problem you will regret in future. You will definitely regret living such a loose life in future. And all what I'm telling you this morning is to be careful. Take good care. You're a girl child. You're like an egg. You need to value yourself first. The way you value yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you arrange yourself, the way you package yourself is the way people, the society will see you. You need to control yourself. You need to have that self-control. Talk to yourself. And especially mothers, we need to hold hands with our young girls. You need to hold conversations from time to time with your growing girls. Put them through life. Take them through life. Make them to understand that life is not something you live just like that, whatever that comes.
Quickly,
do you understand?
Yeah, Your Excellency, let me just butt in here. There is that part again, because we are talking about challenges that are faced by young girls of supposedly big people, politicians, people in government, money bags, who coerce, who confuse, who deceive young girls, into doing their bidding. And people will say, yes, these are money bags, politicians, people in power, who end up confusing these young girls to do their bidding. At the end of the day, they don't really have any plan for them. Now, people say, as a person of influence, maybe not specifically, these are the people that you meet, that you rock in the same, social status. What will you be saying to adults that are grooming young girls only for their selfish purpose?
It's barbaric. It's wrong. It's very, very bad.
Some of them know.
They know, but they still do it.
What should we do?
And my brother, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, because
other than to
influence.
Condemn it. I condemn it. It's a very bad attitude. But what I'm telling such people today is, what goes round that comes round. Remember that you too, you have children. If you're a man, you're in that act of deceiving other people's children. Remember, you yourself, you're a father. And one way or the other is either you have a girl child or a granddaughter. It's what goes round that comes round. You can't cheat God. Definitely to have a way of boomeranging you.
All right.
We need to take care of our girls. We need to be good to them. We need to treat them with care, absolute care. You don't need to engage in such an act of corrupting other people's children. It's very bad. It's barbaric.
Your Excellency, I know that today is the International Day of the Girl Child, but there are people that say that too much attention is being paid to the girl child, now neglecting the boy child. They believe that, over the years we've had, the girl child was neglected. Now the focus is too much on the girl child, and the boy child is just left to focus or to figure out life by himself. And we know that at the end of the day, it is still the boy child that will either make or mar a girl's child life. At the end of the day, they get pregnant, they get raped, they get sexually, physically abused. When they get married, domestic violence, it's the boy child that was not well groomed that grew up into a man that assaults his wife. So there are people that have called for the focus should be balanced, so that at the end of the day, what we are advocating for the girl child will have 100% fruitfulness, if I'm to put it that way. So how do you react to that? That the boy child now is being left to figure out life by himself. At the end of the day, they grow up into the
Something
men,
else.
the men that we do not want.
Okay.
So how do we balance it?
I buy the idea that it has to be balanced. Remember when I advocate for free education, I said free education for all. I didn't say free education, free primary education for only a girl child. I balanced it. Free education for all, so that every child, whether a boy or a girl, will have that privilege of acquiring basic education. I said it, I wasn't partial.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I'm sorry for the boys. You don't need to feel bad. You don't need to feel so change.
You're giving them sorry. I mean, you just mentioned all the things you're doing.
The girls hope.
And you're giving the boys sorry.
I'm sorry. By nature, God made it so that girls are tender. That's why we seem to have so much passion for the girls. I'm very sorry, I'm pleading, but the education I said for all. That means I still have the boy child education at heart, and naturally is a natural phenomenon. That's definitely. Everybody will have, in fact, even in families, you have greater passions for your girls. It's just a natural phenomenon.
So who takes care of the boys?
The boys naturally
they take care of themselves.
Not they take care of them, but the society will definitely take care of the girl. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, the society life will definitely take care of the boys.
Life.
All right.
Definitely, God also will take care of.
Excellent. This is bias. I'm a girl, but I'm speaking up for the boy child. This is bias.
It's not bias because when I advocated for free education, I didn't say free education for only the girls. I said free education for all.
But
they're all our children. They're all our children, right? They're all our children, both the boys and the girls. And like what you said, a boy child that is not well properly groomed will grow up to become a rapist. Will grow up to become what you wouldn't want. So definitely family, society, the government, everybody, as we are taking care of the girls, definitely we also take care of the boys alongside without losing sight on any of them.
I agree.
But proper care,
Your Excellency, I knew what I was saying because there was a time I had an outrage for the boy child. And in sourcing for sponsorship, once I mentioned, it's for the boys, the acceptance is so low. But if they will tell you, why not for the girls? I said, because over the years we've had for the girl child, let's do for the boys. And I realized that there is actually a bias that we are not accepting. We are ignoring.
Take care of the boys.
We are ignoring it.
I agree, but because of time, I take this as your parting shot. We'll take it as a parting shot. Guess vision for the future. Your vision for the girls in Osun State.
Yeah.
And please add. Categorical question now. How high can a girl fly?
A girl can fly as high as an eagle. A girl can fly. The one telling you, but you have to, as a girl child, you should be determined. The determination comes from you, first from you, and then support from family and the society. A girl child can fly high. We've had so many women in this country that every girl child should be looking up to, dreaming to be like them. We have a whole lot of them, the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the likes of Obi Ezekwesili, the life of the first ladies you have on this in this Nigeria and other countries. Do you understand? All the commissioners, women that are commissioners, ministers across the globe. Do you understand? Every woman can fly, but you need to be determined. You need to be focused. For you to fly high, there should be dedication. There should be determination. There should be from you. It's something nobody else can do for you. But you need help. Yes, people around you can rally around help. But the determination to become what you want comes from you.
And your vision for Osun Girl?
My vision for
watching you right now in Osun.
Everything good, girl. Everything good for my girls in Osun State. Everything good.
I love how you put that.
Everything good, starting from good life, love and care, good education, good jobs, apparently good husband, start building good family. Everything for my girls.
All right. Would like to appreciate you, ma'am, for your time on our show this morning. And I'm sure a girl child out there has been inspired by your words of encouragement and inspiration this morning. Thank you once again, Ambassador Erelu Ngozi Abeni Adeleke, wife of the Osun State Governor, for your time, particularly, and also for your words of encouragement and inspiration to our girls out there. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure as well.
All right, that's where we draw the curtains for the show this morning. It's been a beautiful one. And like Our Excellency said earlier on, everything good, girl, go for it. Do not allow anything to stop you, because you are the next big thing that will happen to your family, to this state, and to this country, and by extension, to the entire world. My name is Evelyn Ohiola. We make a return. That will be next week, Femi, for a beautiful edition of Morning Spring. Of course, you can watch a recap of this edition on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Western Spring Television.
And of course, let me reiterate happy International Girls, happy International Day of the Girl Child to the girls on this table, and of course to my girls as well, because I'm a father for the girls.
Exactly.
And so happy International Day of the Girl Child to you, to everyone in this building, the production team, everyone at Rave FM and WSTV, the entire Nigeria. And just like Excellency said, you know, just keep flying as high as you can. Femi Ojo is my name. Make a return next week, God willing. In everything you do, be alive.
I am Josh Too Funny. I'm a comedian and I like to make people laugh.
Fly up.
But it's not funny that we're losing our unique gorillas. We only have around 100 left and they are threatened by habitat loss and traps set for bushmeat. So please say no to illegal bushmeat because protecting nature protects us all.
Since assuming the mantle of leadership in Osun, the state of the Living Spring, Governor Ademola Adeleke has left no one in doubt about his avowed commitment to the overall development of the state. The footprints of his transformative agenda span through education, transportation, health, staff welfare, social infrastructure, among others. Living Spring Update, a weekly diary on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, Channel 190 Star Times DTT, will extract Governor Adeleke's development agenda for your listening and viewing pleasure. From the bustling market to innovative agricultural initiatives, from the testimonies of civil servants and retirees to the cheers of artisans across the state of the Living Spring, you will discover how Governor Adeleke's administration is driving the economic growth of the state. Stay informed and engaged with Living Spring Update, where we will delve deep into the details of ongoing infrastructural projects, new initiatives in healthcare, education, and other impactful strides being made across the state. Tune in every Wednesday on Western Spring Television at 6 p.m. and every Saturday on Rave 91.7 FM at exactly 2:30 p.m. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Western Spring Television and at Rave 917 FM as we tell the story of how Governor Adeleke is shaping Osun into the beacon of development and opportunity.
Living Spring Update is a production of the Office of the Spokesperson to the Governor, Governor's Office, Osogbo.
This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education. His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village near Iseyin in Okeogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally the first story building in Nigeria, is an archival museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history.
Sadly, in Nigeria, we have less than 50 lions left in the wild. And these are from snares set for illegal bushmeat. So please, do your bit to protect our remaining wildlife. Say no to illegal bushmeat because poaching steals from us all.
television gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to 1 million images in 1 million brains. People say video killed the radio star, but here in Osun State, radio is very much alive and thriving. It is not just about tuning in. It is about tapping into the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Welcome to Rave 91.7 FM, where the airwaves come alive with a symphony of voices, music, and ideas.
Nestled in the heart of Osogbo, this station isn't just a broadcaster, it's a storyteller, a magician weaving dreams in the minds of its listeners. As Peggy Nonan aptly puts it, radio allows us to paint our own pictures, to create our own words with every spoken word and every note played.
Inside the walls of Rave FM, the magic happens. From the crackling energy of morning talk shows to the soul-stirring melodies of afternoon playlist, every moment is an invitation to explore, to dream, and to connect.
Whether it's news, music, or lively discussions, Rave 91.7 FM is more than just a radio station. It's a companion, a confidant, and a catalyst for change in the community. Fast forward 7 years from the birth of Rave 91.7 FM, a beacon of youth culture and innovation, and we'll find ourselves just a couple of days away from a momentous occasion, the birthday of Western Spring Television, WSTV. With hyper-local reach and language, WSTV speaks directly to its audience in a 60-40 mix of Yoruba and English languages, ensuring that everyone feels represented and included.
Built on a tested and trusted system, WSTV upholds the value of truth and integrity, serving as a beacon of objectivity in a sea of media noise.
We reflect on the journey that brought us here, from humble beginnings to a trusted source of information and inspiration. WSTV stands as a testament to the power of media to inform, educate, and empower. So join us as we continue to break barriers, challenge norms, and pave the way for a brighter, more inclusive media landscape. Western Spring Television, where every story matters and every voice is heard.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 defined the configuration of Africa, which hitherto existed as a continent of multiple kingdoms and empires under native rulers. The conference, otherwise referred to as Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa as initiated by German leader Otto von Bismarck. The Berlin Conference is often called the scramble for and partitioning of Africa, as each of the imperial powers carved separate portions of the continent for themselves without recourse to racial and cultural identities and differences. 137 years after the Berlin Conference was held, Africa remains a legitimized playground for European nations that sought to exploit its wealth and resources and manipulate its human capital to promote trades and investments of Western powers. Western Spring Television identifies Berlin Conference as a major event in history.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast. Detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Mo máa set rin èmi gan máa di portable wa once na me reach out.
Welcome on board. It's Spring Trends right here on Western Spring Television, where we talk about everything trending. We look at what is trending on social media and we bring it to your face and we take reactions from people. Like I always tell you, keep tweeting, keep commenting, keep putting your thoughts and opinions and your views out there. You never can tell. It can and it might be on our big screen here. My name is Evelyn Ohiole, welcoming you especially to this special edition of Spring Trends. And this is where I say that, okay, before then, let me introduce Femi, then I will now sing my song. Femi is right here by my side and he's repping the girl child, yeah? I mean, that pink is pinking, by the way, but I will still sing my song. Because you cannot do anything. You will not do nothing. So, I'm going to take this song now, yeah, from our sister, Beyonce. Our sister Beyonce sang that song.
Okay.
He said what? Help me out now.
Wow, what was it?
Of course, the girl child runs the world. You know, that question, who runs the world? Girls. It's the International Day of the Girl Child, and we are happy that we are celebrating or commemorating a day as this, giving voice to the girl child and knowing how important they are in the scheme of things. To every girl child out there, you are loved, you are celebrated, and of course, we are your one big cheerleader. You can do it. Whatever it is that you set your mind, your heart to achieve, you can achieve it. You can achieve it, and you will definitely achieve it. All right, Femi, do you have any word for the girl child?
Of course, happy International Day of the Girl Child to every girl, every young girl somewhere, daughters, wives, mothers, you know, everyone. Even those in our lives, actually, even this particular one in the studio. Happy International Day to you. And so we should not just make it a verbal thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go ahead and, you know, do something better, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, that means I'm expecting a gift from you. Do something better, Femi.
And
not just
give you,
not cho-cho-cho.
Show
what
about
kids.
giving.
Show what kids.
Why will not they?
That's what you just said now. You said it's not just about talking, it's about doing something.
We hope everything works ceteris paribus.
All right.
I got you.
When they start speaking another language.
You know, yeah, that one.
I hear them, but
leave it like that.
Let's get on to the first story this morning. And of course, talking about the price of the fuel, we hear from the federal government saying that they are not responsible. Federal government saying that we are not responsible for petrol price hike. Dr. McKinnon responded to this saying the game of sabotage is NNPC, not FG. NNPC raised their price. Definitely all chain of distribution will raise their prices. NNPC should be scrapped. And Avocado says that at Chile_Matrix, they will never take responsibility for their failure. Okay, last, they will say it's exchange rate and market force, but who make the policies that determines all these factors? Chima Echefule says, who is responsible? Tell us. Maybe it's me. Okay, Chima, who are you in the scheme of things? Well, then, it's a question he's asking. Who is responsible? Tell us who. And Ayo Milekon says, Ayo Milekon.
Yeah.
Forgive me, please. Ayo Milekon says, so the citizens are the ones to hold responsible or what? We're never ready for these people. Maybe that's why we're talking like this. What do you have to say, Phil?
Let me take it from the tag, you know, of that story. That, you know, the story that says the federal government are not responsible for the fuel hike, by the way. And then the bottom line is they are not responsible. And in actual fact, they are not responsible. You know, that was the picture. That was the picture of the Minister of Information.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
Right?
Yeah.
We are not responsible. I'll just take that first part. They are not. If they are,
actually we won't be in this particular. How can you say the NNPCL raised the price and say you are not responsible? Are we not in Nigeria to know that whatever happens with the NNPCL, independent marketers can never sell below that particular one? And he's saying they are not responsible. Actually, I agree with him. They are not responsible. Either for fair hike, quality life for Nigerians, well-being of Nigerians, things that will make Nigerians to smile. They are never there. But the ones that will add to that pain, and I don't want to call the names some people are calling right now, something that has to do with pain, that's what they're interested in. And it's a shame, actually. It's not, there should be a point in which an individual will come or a government will say, okay, we've made a mistake. We agree. Now, X, Y, Z, that what we are going to do about it. And in the next 6 months, 1 year, this is how we are going to do it. Because it's just policy and policy somersault. This thing is not working. Then you find somebody else to blame. And then you bring in something that will look like a good news. You will not act on it at all. The people will be agitated. Oh, they will, oh, what can we get to these people? Give them another good news. And then nothing is not backtracked by anything. And then all of a sudden, that one will phase out. You put another policy. What exactly are they doing?
Yeah.
The minister, asking him, on behalf of the government, they are not responsible. So a tweet said, who is responsible? Nami. Nami raised him. So who is responsible?
But, there is this argument that there is now deregulation in the health sector.
There has always been deregulation.
Wait.
That's what you are
If the NNPC raises their prices, that does not mean, their price rather, that does not mean other marketers should raise their price.
Which argument is that? There's an elitist.
Especially now that we hear that the NNPC has left the middleman role from buying from Dangote. So all marketers now they have access to Dangote and they will be able to set their prices.
And we'll see now. Do they really have that access? And we said it. I think Dangote, Abdul Dangote and Aliko, this is the time for him and that Indian chairman or whatever, they need to come up. Tell Nigerians how much they sell.
Yeah.
I think Nigerians deserve, with all the support that man has gained.
I agree.
You should complain now. Now we they sell them.
Yes.
So if anybody they sell 1, 2, you will ask them the question. No, don't just. I just hope there will be a time that Dangote, as a businessman, and that refinery will not cut the anger of Nigerians, because Nigerians don't like to be played. And immediately they find out. One thing, Nigerians will not act against the government. But individual, if you are caught that you are the one making their life miserable, they will come for you.
Yeah.
They can always do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Dangote should come clean on how much he's going to be selling to marketers.
You have enjoyed goodwill
so
now.
we can know we can know who to hold responsible. Exactly. All right, the next story this morning. The Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, urges Nigerians to embrace use of bicycles for movement from one place to another. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
And of course, with 1,000, because someone told me that he bought fuel for 1,500 naira per liter somewhere in Oshogbo yesterday. So if you cannot afford to fill up your tank with 1,500 naira per liter fuel, probably you can go buy some 100,000 or 200,000 bicycle, which will not make use of fuel. And of course, remember the person we interviewed yesterday, Anu. You tend to exercise more. Your joints are okay. You're living healthy, and you don't even get to. So you have a lot to.
See people when they will tell us, "May we go, they do exercise." See their own van for back.
But no, look at
apart from this compound, Shadis or guy go drive this, they come up for this compound. See official card here. Who they rip? See official van.
And I actually think
see pilot Elox where go follow the Oga. Then they even guide that made the man not go for. Beyond this compound, it sure me die. Say this man will not go out of these gates in this particular bicycle.
So this just for the up.
See the biker here.
This photo up.
Then see the biker here. See official car. See Elox where they patrol. See this one Bele. He said, I beg go.
I think that Mr. President, as the #1 person in the country, should actually take this up. Yeah, from his house, the House of Villa, to his office.
What's your plan for Mr. President?
Healthy president. What do you mean? He rode one during the campaign.
That's not keke. That was a stationary bike.
It doesn't matter.
And it only ran for like 30 seconds. Even they watch. See me. My name is Femi Ojo.
I stand on this. Mr. President should ride a bike. Yes.
You know, Teshe, you may ride keke. Ayinka. Me right, the children that are still. Okay.
Let's take reactions. Avocado says bicycle should be for sporting exercise and not for mobility. Will you advise people going to long distance daily to ride bicycle for hours to their workplace? And of course, you can see the teary emoji there. Destiny says so that they'll ask us to start registration of bicycle. What is this? And that's true. If more people get bicycles and they start riding, you will now start saying, "Where's your bicycle license?
Some people will still
your
stand on the
rider's
road and say,
license?
Where they come from? Where is it?
Yes, what's your rider's license? Your bicycle does not have inner lights.
Where's helmet?
Yeah.
And need.
Stainless asked this to say, if you follow this, I pray you see Christmas of 2024. I was almost crushed by a private car driver, not even done for, on Adeniyi Jones last year while cycling. I kid you not, I wasn't on the main road.
Adeniyi Jones is in Ikeja.
Exactly.
In Lagos. First of all, you can't carry this one, go Mushe. You carry and go Ojuelegba. You carry and go some of those places.
We've seen enough fatalities on the road.
You know, with what angry,
because Nigeria,
truck
our
driver.
roads do not have that. The roads actually meant for cycling.
Yeah, the demarcation for cycling.
Yes, we don't have
the zebra crossing where you get. Sure, you don't ever try them.
Not try.
Go where? Go Ogolu or wherever has this. What is it called? That bridge now.
Yeah.
What's the name? That bridge, that popular bridge now. Olaya Bridge. You know there is zebra marking there.
Yeah.
If they bore you away,
step on one of the lines.
Step on the zebra crossing and say the vehicle will wait for you. Just pick your obituary color before you go.
All right. So lastly, from Uche Bakadi, he says enough Okada riders end up in orthopedic hospitals, if lucky, not in mortuary. No safe riding lanes. The few pavement around market stalls of traders. Average cyclists be riding on the same road shared with possessed drivers. Build and employ bone doctors because accidents, victims go plenty. And that is what Femi also is talking about. We do not have
with somebody where you buy
riding lanes. Yeah.
Because they may slow down because keke won't pass.
But really, we don't obey traffic regulation, rules and regulations
because
in Nigeria.
leaders will not.
Yeah.
It starts from the top. It's quite basic.
But what the FRC is saying, sense or nonsense, Femi? To you?
Who they want who? Road safety. If they advise Nigerians where they ride keke, they should. But see the man, they talk. See official vehicle. See Elox where they protect her. See boys where they wait. See Oga. Only him. Why plenty road safety people no follow? These are the real. Maybe you are seeing them.
Yeah.
Why be saying only their Oga? They don't even wait for them. If that thing go do balabala, so that they go check them. But see vehicle, even the angle that they are using to project this thing is wrong. Vehicle is there. E-lot is there. Who did it tell? Go buy bicycle. Do you know how much a bicycle is?
Yeah, it's very expensive.
A solid bicycle, average one, second hand, cannot be less than, don't let me put solid. Average bicycle cannot be less than 100K.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to buy the sporty one, this kind type that's bent, you'll be spending like 300K to 500K. Sure, you know, go cuckoo trek last. 300K and 500K on keke. Now, with your agbada and your skis, you now enter keke and you are going to party at Aurora. Now, it's good to have it, to cycle for health benefits.
Yeah,
in
exercise.
your neighborhood. But don't carry keke and say you are going to go to Elisha. Who they do you? If they do you, must you do yourself. They send FRSC to you. These are the usually for sport, for fitness.
Yeah.
It's okay within the neighborhood. You can't carry keke before road safety talker. Say you are traveling, you not carry it. It's the same Elox van that they used to carry that person dead body. But make nobody do you. You think the FRSC go want you?
For no panic.
For no panic. These are the issues.
Amazing. And that's where we draw the curtains this morning for this edition of Spring Trends. According to Femi, or what people say, government go whine you.
They go whine you.
They go whine
now you. Know go food, though.
But no panic, you'll be fine at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Femi, for doing this with us, for doing this with
My
me.
pleasure.
And of course, shout out to the backroom guys. You're doing
Shout out to all the girls.
an amazing job.
All the young ladies.
Yes.
All the small tatas.
Yes.
Those
Shout out
ones
to
in
all the ladies.
In the crèche.
Shout out to all the girls.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the females. Shout out to us all.
Use it. So you have the next 2 minutes at least. Use that today. We won't say that. There's a whispering behind it. We will not say that. We are talking about the real girls here.
Yeah.
And not some compromised individual. That's not what we're talking about. But to all the girls, you know, and the progenitors of the girls.
Yeah.
We're talking about the mothers. You guys are the MVP.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Congratulations.
All right, to make a return next week for another interesting edition of Spring Trends. Until then, have for yourself a fun-filled day. And, of course, a beautiful weekend. If you have a one bed, of course, do your gilly and get your fila very well.
This is time to even
maintain
go for one bed.
steez.
I'm telling you, to go and unwind.
Yeah.
Before this nation go kill you.
Don't worry. They go one you, no panic.
Enjoy yourself.
Bye.
Èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní agbègbè Niger Congo. Èdè Yorùbá gbajúgbajà ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ó kéré tán, àwọn ènìyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 14 ló ń sọ èdè Yorùbá lónìí. Ètò akọ́mọlédè ló ń dé sójú ìwòran yín láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán WSTV ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes. Folúṣọ́ Ayaolúwagbémiga, ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè, ìyá akọ́mọlédè ló kọ tèmi. Yorùbá dùn púpọ̀, Yorùbá ò lè kú, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tiwa làṣà, tiwa lèdè, tiwa nìṣẹ̀ṣe akọ́mọlédè. Èdè Yorùbá jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ ní agbègbè Niger Congo. Èdè Yorùbá gbajúgbajà ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ó kéré tán, àwọn ènìyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 14 ló ń sọ èdè Yorùbá lónìí. Ètò akọ́mọlédè ló ń dé sójú ìwòran yín láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán WSTV ìkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes. Folúṣọ́ Ayaolúwagbémiga, ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè, ìyá akọ́mọlédè ló kọ tèmi. Yorùbá dùn púpọ̀, Yorùbá ò lè kú, Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tiwa làṣà, tiwa lèdè, tiwa nìṣẹ̀ṣe akọ́mọlédè.
Àbújá ni olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ọjọ́ 12 oṣù 12 ọdún 1991 ni wọ́n gbé ibùjókòó agbára Nàìjíríà kúrò nílùú Èkó lọ sílùú Àbújá lásìkò ìṣèjọba ológun ọ̀gágun fẹ̀yìntì Ibrahim Babangida. Ìlú Àbújá ni ìlú kẹjọ tí èrò pọ̀ sí jùlọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ó sì jẹ́ ìlú olódi tó wà ní àárín gbùngbùn. Gbogbo àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ àti àjọ ìjọba kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní olú ọ́fíìsì wọn nílùú Àbújá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ pé ibẹ̀ gan ni ibùjókòó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Lọ́dún 2003 ni àjọ Commonwealth gbé ìpàdé wọn wá síbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àjọ olókoòwò nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ṣe lọ́dún 2014. Kódà lọ́dún 2016 àjọ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé ìyẹn UNESCO gbà á gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibùdó ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ibùdó tó gbajúgbajà nílùú Àbújá ni àpáta agbára Aso Rock, ilé aṣòfin àpapọ̀, ilé aṣojúṣòfin ilẹ̀ yìí, àpáta Zuma Rock, Millennium Park, báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà CBN, mọ́ṣáláṣí àpapọ̀ àti ibùdó ilé ìjọsìn àpapọ̀ àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Ẹkùn ìdìbò 6 ló wà nílùú Àbújá: Abaji, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Kwali àti Abuja Municipal. Kílìṣì tó jẹ́ ohun ìpanu tí wọ́n fi ẹran pèsè ló jẹ́ oúnjẹ tó wọ́pọ̀ tí gbogbo èèyàn sì nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí nílùú Àbújá. Ó jẹ́ ibùdó ìsinmi fún ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn arìnrìn-àjò láti ẹkùn kọ̀ọ̀kan nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nítorí pé àárín gbùngbùn ló wà. Ìlú Àbújá rèé o, ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló ń kojú àwọn ará àdúgbò, àwọn ará àwùjọ tí ohun ò dẹ̀ dókè. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìnira, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìyà làwọn èèyàn ń kojú rẹ̀ ní àdúgbò. Ojú ọ̀nà tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó, iná ọba tó mẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe ségesège, àwọn tó ń hu ìwà àbàṣejẹ́ obì tí ń sun lẹ́rùn, àti àwọn nǹkan tí ò tí ì dé tí gbọ́ ìjọba. Ṣé wọ́n ní etí ọba nílé etí ọba lóko, èèyàn náà ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Òun náà ló jẹ́ kí ìkànnì Western Spring Television pé ètò tí ó jẹ́ kẹ́yìn ara lé ẹ̀yin ará àwùjọ kẹ́ lè mọ́ sọ bí tí bàtà bá ti ń ta yín lẹ́sẹ̀ fún àwọn aláṣẹ ìjọba. Ohun tẹ́ ẹ ṣe ni wípé ẹ mú fóònù yín, ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yín, ẹ dàbù rẹ̀, ẹ mọ̀ yà ní gbọ́rọ̀, ẹ dàbù rẹ̀, ẹ ṣe àkàálẹ̀ ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó ìjọba, ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó àwọn aláṣẹ, ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó àwọn elétò ìlera, àwọn elétò ààbò àti àwọn míì tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí fọ́nrán náà ìyẹn fídíò tẹ́ máa ṣe àkálẹ̀ rẹ̀ kó mọ̀ ju ìṣẹ́jú 2 tàbí 3 lọ. Ẹ má fi ṣọwọ́ sí wa ní orí WhatsApp lórí ẹ̀rọ 0803 865 1049 0803 865 1049. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn fọ́nrán yín, àwọn àwòrán yín kó máa wọlé. Orí ètò Ojú Ẹlẹ́rìí, ẹ̀yin gangan lẹ jẹ́ ojú ẹlẹ́rìí. Ohun táwọn èèyàn nílò, ohun tó ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn láwùjọ níyà, ilé tí ò nílé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀, ibi tí ò níbi tó ti ń dẹ ẹ̀gbin nù, tó wá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀gbin wọn ní àwọn ará àdúgbò, àwọn aráàlú lára, gbogbo ẹ̀ ẹ fi tó àwọn aláṣẹ létí. Ohun tẹ́ ẹ nílò ní agbègbè yín, ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn aláṣẹ mọ̀. Orúkọ mi ni Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé, èmi ni atọ́kùn ètò Ojú Ẹlẹ́rìí lórí Western Spring Television, ìkànnì 150 ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Ajé láago 2:30 ọ̀sán.
Èkó Lagos, Èkó akéte ìlú ọgbọ́n, Èkó akéte ìlú ìmọ̀, ọmọ ọlọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú, àwọn òmùgọ̀ àdìímú nírù, ẹni dẹ́kọ̀ tí ò gbọ́n ọgbọ́n rẹ̀ dọ̀run alákejì. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àrọ́bá, ẹni tó tẹ ìṣẹ́ridó tó sì kọ́kọ́ gbé ibẹ̀ lọ́dún 1699 ló jẹ́ ọdẹ tí orúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Ògúnfúnminíre, ọmọ ọba ìlú Ilé Ifẹ̀ ní í ṣe. Ó máa ń ṣọdẹ lọ síbẹ̀ láti Ifẹ̀, ó sì pàgọ́ tó ti máa ń sinmi ṣáájú kó tún tó lọ bẹ ilé rẹ̀ wò. Nígbà tó yá, àwọn ọdẹ mìíràn wá darapọ̀ mọ́ láti ṣọdẹ. Nínú igbó yìí ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣọdẹ tí wọ́n sì ń pọ̀ sí pẹ̀lú àwọn ènìyàn wọn. Báyìí ni wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tàn kálẹ̀ tó fi dé gbogbo ibi tí Èkó fẹ̀ dé lónìí. Ìlú Èkó, ìlú ńlá. Ìlú Èkó yìí ni ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà wà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí, pàápàá lásìkò ìjọba amúnisìn ṣáájú ọdún 1991 tí wọ́n gbé lọ sílùú Àbújá. Èkó àdèlé ọmọ agun àgẹ̀rẹ̀, Èkó ọmọ afíjúwọjà arìngbẹ́ndẹ́kẹ́, ọ̀bùnwọjà páṣíọ̀ṣíọ̀, ẹ̀yọ̀ ní bàbá Èkó, àríjó ṣe bí ọba. Èkó ọmọ odò tí ò ṣeé yájú sí, Èkó arómi sá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́.
Gbẹ̀bíró kílé mọ́ dahoro kọ́ọ̀dẹ́ má dìbò sí. Láṣìgbé ètò yìí kalẹ̀ láti lè jẹ́ kóníkálukú fi ṣe òdiwọ̀n ìdílé wọn. Òtítọ́ ọbẹ̀ ni pé kò sí ìdílé kan tí ò ní pèníjà àti ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni la fi ń tún ẹni ṣe. Àti oníkálukú bá kọ sí ìpínlẹ̀ náà ìdílé yóò sọ bí ìdílé yóò ṣe rí. Gbẹ̀bíró ká finúkonú ká fikùn lukùn pẹ̀lú àwọn lọ́kọláya lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí ètò. Níbẹ̀ lọ́mọ Afọlábí ó ti mọ tàkò tó béèrè sí wọn. Láláì fìkan pé méjì lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń dá òwòhòwò sílẹ̀ nínú ìdílé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn àlejò náà yóò mọ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ tí wọ́n ń gbé à sílé wọn ò fi dàrú tí fi ń tò. Gbẹ̀bíró ẹ mọ̀ pàdé Múyìwá Àfọlábí lórí ètò yìí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta láago 8 òwúrọ̀ tí àtúntẹ̀rí ó sì tún máa wá láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ ní ìkànnì móhùnmáwòrán Western Spring Television ìkànnì 150 lórí StarTime. Gbẹ̀bíró tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ó máa yàtọ̀ ní kò ní yàtọ̀ fọ́.
Ìlú Ìbàdàn. Ìlú Ìbàdàn ni olú ìlú àti ìlú tí ó tóbi jù ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó wà ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Kò dín ní èèyàn bíi mílíọ̀nù 6 tó ń gbé nígboro ìlú Ìbàdàn nìkan ṣoṣo. Odù Ifá ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì ni àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé ó tẹ ìlú Ìbàdàn dó. Àwọn ọmọ ìlú Ìbàdàn jẹ́ akíkanjú, wọ́n fẹ́ràn ìdàgbàsókè, ọ̀làjú ni wọ́n, àwọn baba ńlá wọn sì jẹ́ jagunjagun. Àbájọ tí a fi máa ń gbọ́ nínú oríkì wọn pé Ìbàdàn mèsì ọ̀gọ̀ nílé Olúyọ̀lé, ìlú ògúnmọ́lá olódògbò kẹ̀rí lójú ogun ìbàdàn ọmọ àjòrò sàn ọmọ ajẹ̀gbínyó ọmọ àfikàràhùn fọ́ orí mu. olùbàdàn lórúkọ oyè ọba ilẹ̀ ìbàdàn máyẹ̀ okùn adé ló kọ́kọ́ jẹ baálẹ̀ nìbàdàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú ńlá ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ àti àjọ ńláńlá ló wà nílùú ìbàdàn ìbàdàn tó gbonílé tó gbé àlejò ọmọ ìbàdàn kí ni sóò.
Western Spring Television, ours it is.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ sún mọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. adéyẹmí ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn nígùn.
a kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ibikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa a kí yín o a kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe a kú bójú ọjọ́ ìṣeré ní orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà kò ní lè mọ́ wa yóò tù wá lára yóò bá wa lára mu náà ni lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé àti lágbàlagbà a kí yín ẹ̀ka ìròyìn àti ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ ló ń ṣe agbátẹrù ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò níkànnì Western Spring Television ìkànnì Western Spring Television dé sí ojú ìwòran yín lórí ìkànnì àádọ́wà channel 190 lórí Star Times DTT ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó máa ń wáyé ní gbogbo ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ mẹ́jọ gbogbo ọjọ́ ẹtì láàrin aago 3 ọ̀sán sí aago 4 kù ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ àti àtúntẹ̀ rẹ̀ tó máa ń wáyé ní gbogbo alaalẹ́ ọjọ́ ajé nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò láti máa ń fi ojú sùnùkùn wo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ sùnùkùn èyí tó máa ń ṣúyọ yálà lójú ọpọ́n ètò ààbò lójú ọpọ́n ọrọ̀ ajé lójú ọpọ́n ètò ẹ̀kọ́ lójú ọpọ́n ètò ìlera lójú ọpọ́n iṣẹ́ ọ̀gbìn àti àwọn ẹ̀ka lóníranran èyí tí yóò jẹ́ kí orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà kó gòkè àgbà kí pẹrẹgún ilẹ̀ yìí kó paṣọ tìṣídà ẹ má wàá gbàgbé àfáyélẹ̀ ẹ̀ka ti ọwọ́ òṣèlú ọwọ́ ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà tàbí ọwọ́ ẹlẹ́sìnjẹsìn bọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí a bá ń gbé kalẹ̀ bọ́ èrò bọ́ àwọn ìwòye àti àwọn ìmọ̀ràn tí a bá ń gbé kalẹ̀ kà nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ honourable lẹ́wà nínú ìjókòó lé ẹni tí a bá wá ń pè ní honourable ẹni àpọ́nlé ni irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ àbùkù ọ̀rọ̀ tó lè kómi ẹran dà sílẹ̀ ẹṣin ọ̀rọ̀ tó lè dá họ́wùhọ́wù sílẹ̀ èmi tí mo jẹ́ abẹnugan fún ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní right honourable adéyẹmí ọlábọ̀dé bí mo ṣe ń kí gbogbo àwọn honourable tó wà nínú kulu pẹ̀lú mi nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò yìí náà ni mo ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nínú ilé yálà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí móhùnmáwòrán yín lórí ìkànnì àádọ́wà channel 190 lórí Star Times DTT ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tàbí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára torí bí a ṣe ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ lórí móhùnmáwòrán ní àwọn èèyàn náà ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára ti YouTube ẹ ṣeun o ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe yín adúpẹ́ fún ìbánikópa ìbánigbémọ̀ràn kalẹ̀ nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó kọjá ẹ̀já máa fàsìkò yín rán ara wa létí àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ àwọn òfin àti àwọn ìlànà tó wà nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò torí wọ́n ní ìlú tí ò bá sí òfin ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ò sí ń bẹ̀ a sọ pé ká bọ̀wọ̀ fún ìwòye honourable mi ẹ má jà tàbùkù ẹlòmíì ká má tàbùkù ìwòye wọn ká má tàbùkù èrò wọn ká má fi ojú láì fi wo ìyà táwọn bá kọ torí ohun tó kọjú sẹ́nìkan a máa kọ ẹ̀yìn sẹ́lòmíì lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà ẹ dákun ẹ má gbàgbé àdẹ̀fi ààyè lẹ̀ka ti ọwọ́ òṣèlú bọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí a bá ń dá sí nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò
nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó kọjá Honourable Lamid Sefiu láti ọlọ́jà Ìbálá ni wọ́n dá àbá kí a so ìjókòó ilé tó kọjá rọ̀. Lẹ́yìn náà ni Honourable Eko Mary láti Àgùnbẹ́léwò bá wa kéjì àbá pé kí a so ìjókòó ilé tó kọjá rọ̀. Nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó kọjá, ohun tí a gbé yẹ̀wò òun náà ni ọ̀rọ̀ ogun àwítẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n ní kì í parọ́ tó bá gbọ́n, tí wọ́n sì ní òní láti pè tí ọ̀la. Níbi ìjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ṣe ké tantan pé ewu ń bẹ lóko ló ń gẹ́ fúnra lára rẹ̀ ewu ni pẹ̀lú omíyalé àgbàráyà ṣọ́ọ̀bù eléyìí tí wọ́n pa àrokò wípé yóò wáyé níbi ó ti ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, tí wọ́n sì ní bí wọ́n bá ṣe ṣí odò kan, odò àkámọ́ tí ń bẹ ní ilẹ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè alámúlégbè, ó ṣeé ṣe kó ṣe ọṣẹ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Ohun tá a gbé yẹ̀wò rèé o nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó kọjá. Nínú ìjókòó ilé tòní kí Honourable kan bá wa dá àbá kí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé, lẹ́yìn àbá àkọ́kọ́ kí Honourable míì bá wa kéjì àbá náà. Honourable Jamiu Semi ó yá o. Ó yẹ bá a fún wọn ní gbohùngbohùn. Tọ́ ọ̀dà ẹjẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ kí ní sẹ́nu.
Mo kí abẹnugan lé o,
Yes, sir.
mo kí akójanu lé, mo sì kí akọ̀wé ilé náà ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní dàrú. Èmi ní Honourable Comrade Jamiu Semi láti ìlú Ìnísà tí mò ń sojú odò ọ̀tìn South àti Ọlọ́ndà lápapọ̀ local government, tí mo tún jẹ́ mọ́mọ́ àgbà fún ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Mo dá àbá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé ètò ní nísànsàn kọ́lọ́hún mọ̀ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Ó dáa, ẹ ṣé. Kí Honourable míì bá wa kéjì àbá náà.
Mo kí gbogbo ilé o,
Ó dáa.
ọlọ́mọ fún wa ṣe máa ń yìn lọ́jọ́ bá iléeṣẹ́ oníbàjẹ́ o.
Àmín.
Èmi ní Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéyọ̀ láti Housing Estate nílùú Òṣogbo. Mo kéjì àbá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé fún tèmi nísànsán kọ́lọ́hún kó ràn án lọ.
Àmín, ẹ ṣé o. Lẹ́yìn àbá látẹnu Honourable Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Ìníṣà tí Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéwúyọ̀ láti ìlú Òṣogbo kéjì àbá náà, ní èmi abẹnugan lè ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé tòní.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn ni gígùn ni gùn.
Àná òde yìí ni ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Olóyè Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ lọ́gùn rẹ̀ tán pé ewu ń bẹ lóko ló ń gẹ́ fúnra lára rẹ̀ ewu ni. Ó ní ọ̀rọ̀ bí ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yòókù ṣe ń ya bí eéṣú lọ sí ilẹ̀ òkèrè ti di ohun tó ń pè fún àjọ tó nírònú lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó ní ó yẹ kí ìjọba túbọ̀ mú ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbáyé gbádùn àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera náà ní bàdà, kí òpin ó lè dé bá bí òbítíbitì àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera náà ṣe ń dà gìrìgì lọ sílẹ̀ òkèrè níbi tílẹ̀ ti gbé tẹ́jú. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà tí adarí àgbà ètò ìlera nílé ìwòsàn ìjọba àpapọ̀ FMC Abẹ́òkúta ṣojú fún ìyẹn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Adéwálé Músà, ó ní ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó pẹ̀lú bó ṣe jẹ́ pé ojoojúmọ́ ni àwọn dókítà àti àwọn elétò ìlera ń pọ̀ sókè rajà kúrò ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà ní bí ìjọba lẹ́lẹ́kàǹkà bá kùnà láti wá wọ̀rọ̀ kọ̀ fi ṣe àdá sí ọ̀rọ̀ dídà gìrìgì àwọn elétò ìlera náà lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè, kí wọ́n sì wájútì sí ohun tó jẹ́ okùnfà gbòógì ọ̀rọ̀ náà, ó ṣeé ṣe kí ọjọ́ iwájú orílẹ̀-èdè yóò wà nínú ewu ńláńlá. Àwọn rántí pé ṣáájú àsìkò yìí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ òǹwòye ti ń kọminú nípa ọwọ́ ẹ̀rẹ̀ àìfínípéní àìfèèyànpèèyàn àti àwọn ìwà kòtọ́kòyẹ, ìwà àìmọ́rọ̀ ìgbáyégbádùn ẹni ní bàdà tí wọ́n ní wọ́n ń wù sí àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera. Wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìwòsàn ló ti di ibi tó wà nípò ẹlẹgẹ́. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ibùdó ètò ìlera ni ò mọ́yán lórí tí ò sì yàtọ̀ sí ìgbà téèyàn bá wà ní ibi tó léwu. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn dókítà náà ló ń fapá jánu wípé owó oṣù àtàwọn owó àjẹmọ́nú wọn ò tó nǹkan kan bíi ti àwọn akẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀làjú yòókù káàkiri àgbáyé. Èyí ló wá bí àwọn ìbéèrè mẹ́ta tó ń tawọ́ tasẹ̀ nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́, kí ló ń fa bí àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera ṣe ń ya bí eéṣú tí wọ́n ń dà gìrìgì lọ sókè òkun lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n bá ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tán nílẹ̀ yìí? Ìbéèrè kejì, irú àwọn ètò kóríyá wo níjọba lè ṣe fún àwọn dókítà àti àwọn elétò ìlera láti lè wá gbòdẹ́kun sí bí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ṣe ń pàdánù àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú àwọn dókítà àti àwọn elétò ìlera tó ń fojoojúmọ́ lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀? Ìbéèrè kẹta tó kẹ́yìn, ṣé ó bójú mu kí àwọn elétò ìlera tí wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn gan lọ ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ lórúkọ ìjọba àpapọ̀ kí wọ́n kàwé tán nílẹ̀ yìí kán wá gbé gbogbo ọpọlọ tí wọ́n fi kàwé ọ̀fẹ́, ọpọlọ tí wọ́n fi kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà lọ fi máa ṣiṣẹ́ nílẹ̀ òkèèrè? Ṣó bójúmu? Ṣé wọ́n ní òjò tó bá rọ̀ sílùú ìlú ló yẹ kó fi mu? Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ o gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀rọ̀rẹ́bù nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò àtàwọn tó wà nínú kulu pẹ̀lú mi àti àwọn tó ń wò mí nínú ilé. Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ o, ọ̀rọ̀ tó kan gbogbo wa ní o, torí ọ̀rọ̀ sùnùkùn ojú sùnùkùn la fi wò ó. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nínú ilé, ojú òpó tẹ́ lè máa lò lélẹ́yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ dá sí ohun tá à ń lò gbéyẹ̀wò lónìí, ojú òpó àkọ́kọ́ ni 0913 259 000 0913 259 9000. Ojú òpó àkọ́kọ́ nù ó lẹ́ ń wò lójú ìwòran yìí. Ojú òpó kejì ni 0816 466 4844 0816 466 4844. Ọ̀dà Honourable Adékéwúyè ọ̀yá o.
Gbogbo ilé o, ọlọ́mọ àfọyín ṣe, torí ó sì ní jásí málágbára ọlọ́run. Èmi ni Honourable Adékúnlé Aríkéyọ̀ láti Housing Estate nílùú Òṣogbo. Ń tẹ́ ní ká dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ gidi ni. Yorùbá ní ẹni tó bá mọ ìwúrà látà fún. Torí wípé ní àìṣedéédé ara ayé ló máa mú kẹ́ni rántí èrò ọ̀run. Nígbà tí àwọn adarí wa tí wọ́n bá sí dáadáa sàn dókítà, kí ló dé tí wọ́n fi ní máa jápa? Ṣé kálukú náà ṣe ń wá bí ilẹ̀ ti tẹ́jú torí kálukú ló ní fámílì, wọ́n lẹ́bí wọn lára, wọ́n ní ìyá tó ń bọ̀, wọ́n ní bàbá, èmi ní bàbá nu wọn. Bí mi èyí tí ò ní bàbá níyà, èyí tí ò ní ìyá ní fámílì, ó ní ọmọ tó bí àti ìyàwó. So kí wá ní wọ́n fẹ́ máa waste àsìkò ara wọn sí? Èló náà ń san fún dókítà yẹn náà, èló náà ń san fún sálárì. Ẹnu sálárì wọn bá tán tó ń gbà yẹn náà, wọ́n á ṣe wàhálà títí. Mo rántí gbà tí Ebola rí tó wá ń gbà yẹn, ẹ̀mọye ayé dókítà tó kú rẹpẹtẹ lórí àìrí sálárì gbà, wọ́n tún kúkú àìtọ́jọ́. So ibi tán ní olórin kan níta bá lé níbì kan ibì kan là á kọrí sí. Tí wọ́n bá wọn fẹ́ wọn Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n dà kọrí sókè òkun, mi ò blame wọn o. Kíjọba àpapọ̀ kan ní ó pàrọnú àtọ̀dọ̀fin wọn kí wọ́n tọ́jú wọn dókítà. Tí wọ́n bá ń tọ́jú wọn tó bá jẹ́ pé ní tó wà lọ́hùn tí irú rẹ̀ náà bá wà bíbà ìgbà ayégbárùn tó wà lọ́hùn tó bá wà bíbà kí là ń wá kiri kí là ń bá ká. Ṣebí ńgbà tí ò sí fọkànbalẹ̀ níbi tí ò sí tí wọ́n recognize wọn dókítà yẹn náà ló jẹ́ kí wọ́n náà mọ jápa tán náà sì ní family. So tí ò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n sòfin kan gbà kan wọ́n ní dókítà pé ní tó bá ti wà nílé òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó bá ti ṣiṣẹ́ ìjọba ní tó ṣiṣẹ́ nílé òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba pé kò gbọdọ̀ lé àtiẹ̀ lẹ̀ àbí kinní kan. So tí ò bá dá àtiẹ̀ lẹ̀ náà kí ló fẹ́ jẹ? Now gbogbo bọ́n ti wá ń forí ṣe fọrùn ṣe kí ni wọ́n wá fi mọ́ fún wọn báyìí? So ìdí nìyẹn kán náà tọ́jú dókítà, tán bá tọ́jú wọn tán fún wọn lówó tó nítumọ̀ tí wọ́n fún wọn lájẹmọ́ tán ṣe dáadáa sí wọn kí náà wá lọ kí náà wá kiri kí ló wà lọ́n tí ò sí bíbáyìí. Bọ̀ tó rí pé ní àwọn gan ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọn ò sí dáadáa tí ò dẹ̀ yẹ kó rí bí àwọn gan tán bá ṣàìsàn òkè òkun náà sá lọ láwọn àwọn adarí wa gan. So tán bá ṣàìsàn òkè òkun náà sá lọ kò sóògùn lè délé ìwòsàn kẹ́ ẹ rógùn ọ̀fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rógùn ẹ mọ́ dání kẹ́ ẹ rógùn náà. Tó bá rẹ̀ yàn ń ṣe ọlọ́mọdé àṣà rẹ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n wà mẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ lọ́n kó fún wọn lálàáfíà. Àwa tá à ń gbé tiwa kiri náà kọ́ lọ́mọdé ó dá wa gúnlẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá dé hospital àǹsìn ẹ̀ káànú ẹlòmíì wà ń bẹ̀ láti bí ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ọjọ́ mẹ́rin wọ́n ń retí owó pé kò sówó kò sí tọ́jú. Àmọ́ ẹlòmíì tó yẹ pé ẹ̀mí rẹ̀ ń bọ́. A sì dára ní ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba kò sóògùn kò sí tọ́jú. So èmi kàn rọ àwọn adarí wa kí wọ́n ṣe dáadáa especially ààrẹ wa kí wọ́n ṣe dáadáa ilé ìwòsàn tó bá jẹ́ tìjọba ó yẹ ká benefit ni benefit níbi iná benefit níbi ọ̀nà tún benefit lára àwọn dókítà ní pé kán sì tọ́jú wọn so ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò ní jù báyìí lọ màá dá dúró báyìí náà kọ́ lọ́n kó ràn wá lọ kí ìjọba àpapọ̀ sí dáadáa àti ìjọba state náà kan sí dáadáa ọlọ́mọ ràn wá lọ iléeṣẹ́ ò ní bàjẹ́ o.
àmín Honourable Lamid Sefiu mò ń wọ yín lókè kíkan.
Speaker èmi ni Honourable Lamid Sefiu láti ìlú ọlọ́jà Bala City alias agbọ́mọbí wọn ẹ ṣe pẹ̀lú program tẹ mú wálé ni mo rí ìgbóyin fún iléeṣẹ́ yìí gan agbára Ọlọ́run iléeṣẹ́ yìí ò ní dàrú o àlékún owó àlékún àlàáfíà gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ń bì agbára Ọlọ́run yóò máa jẹ́ tiyín lágbára Ọlọ́run. ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ẹ mú wáyìí ṣé ká pè ní pé èèyàn fi ń dọ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ ni àbí ká sọ wípé ní òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ni bàbá Ọbásanjọ́ òun náà sọ. torí tá a bá tó jẹ́ kí n lè sọ wípé ní ṣé ká wò pé bóyá wọ́n fẹ́ fi dọ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ ni àbí òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà sọ. torí tó jẹ́ kí n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé bàbá yìí náà wọ́n ti gbabẹ̀ kọjá o tí èsì àkọ́kọ́ tí èsì ẹ̀kejì bí ẹ̀mejì sá wọ́n ti gbabẹ̀ kọjá. ìgbà táwọn wà bẹ́ẹ̀ kí lè tó kí ni program táwọn gan ní fún wọn fún àwọn elétò ìlera kí ni tí wọ́n ní fún wọn kí ni tán ṣe fún wọn nígbà tí wọ́n wà bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà ayé ológun kí ni tán ṣe kí ni program tán ṣe fún wọn láti lè mọ̀mọ́ jápamọ́. sẹ́ẹ̀sì mọ̀ wá gbàkàrà wá gba dùdú ibi tí dùdú bá ti ń dùn ibẹ̀ nìyẹn kọrí sí o bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ibẹ̀ nìyẹn kọrí sí òkè nísìn ẹni pé kí àwọn ọmọ wa pé ààrẹ kan sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní pé ó ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa tá a wà lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yìí o wọ́n lazy wọn èkì fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ ni àwọn ọmọ skul jáde báyìí o kò ṣiṣẹ́ o àwọn tán wá sí ìjọba tó jẹ́ pé ní yẹtù pé òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó wá jẹ́ pé ní òkè o àwọn eléyìí wọ́n wà nígbà ètò ìlera o kí ni ìdùnnú wọn tán ṣe fún wọn wọn ò ṣe ìdùnnú fún wọn ẹ wá wò ààrẹ wá sọ̀rọ̀ ṣégeṣe pé wọ́n fi ṣe kìkì ta fún ààrẹ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ torí àwọn náà ti gbàbẹ̀ kọjá rí o àárín nǹkan àmúyẹ fún wọn lásìkò gba tiwọn o gbọ́tọ́ bá jẹ́ pé òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà bá wá sọ ká wá gbà pé òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà sọ ẹ dákun kí ló dé láti má lè tọ́jú gbogbo àwọn dókítà tán wà ní throughout Nàìjíríà kí ló dé láti má lè tọ́jú wọn kí ló dé láti má lè tọ́jú wọn tó jẹ́ wípé ní yẹs pé iṣẹ́ la rí àárí owó ẹ wo adúrú ìmọ̀ tán gbà kọjá ìwé tán kà kọjá ṣé àwọn náà ò ní gbádùn ni wọ́n wá ìgbà kan náà ṣòfin wọ́n ní pé wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ dán hospital tara wọn lẹ̀ o kí ni wọ́n máa jẹ ibi wọ́n ti ń sanwó ibi tí wọ́n ti sanwó wọn ò yí o pẹ̀sẹ̀ náà wà lẹ̀ wọn ò sanwó wọn o gbogbo ẹ̀ wà lẹ̀ wọn ò sanwó wọn ẹni tó bá wá rí ọ̀nà Àbújá tó wá rọ́nà míì tó wá gbà lọ wọ́n ní wọ́n ń jápa why not wọ́n jápa àwọn tó já ààrẹ wa gangan wọn ò níbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run ẹ tó ṣiṣẹ́ gan òrówó gbà dèkòdèkò àwa tá a jẹ́ aráàlú kò sẹ́tọ̀ gidi kan lórí wa gbogbo nǹkan rí bó ṣe rí ẹ dákun èmi rọ ààrẹ wa kán jọ kán bá wa tọ́jú wọn àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ nu òní wọn tọ́jú o dépò pé àwa tá a wá jẹ́ aráàlú abẹ̀ wọn o torí bìkọ́ gbogbo tá a bá ṣe wọ́n lọ jábọ̀ fún Ọlọ́run o wọ́n lọ jábọ̀ fún Ọlọ́run o kán tọ́jú gbogbo àwọn elétò ìlera yìí o kán tọ́jú wọn o so ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò onídàrú o.
àmín ẹ ṣé o ẹ bá wa fún Honourable Adénẹ̀gàn ẹ ṣé o.
Mr. Speaker ẹ kú ọ̀sán mo kí gbogbo ilé náà orúkọ mi ní Honourable Ọpẹ́yẹmí Adénẹ̀gàn ẹ ṣeun fún ìwòye yín torí wọ́n ní ẹ tó bá ní ìlera ó ní ọrọ̀ ìlera báyìí ológun ọrọ̀ so ní láti ní ọrọ̀ ó ṣe pẹ̀lú pé kí a ní ilé ìwòsàn tó péye àti àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ ìṣègùn mìíràn náà bíi nurse bíi lab and tẹ́bádẹ̀ wò ipasẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ wọn ó jẹ́ ilé tó nínú gbogbo àwọn iṣẹ́ tí èèyàn máa ń ṣe tí èèyàn máa ń kọ́ nílé ìwé iṣẹ́ wọn jẹ́ ilé tó yẹ pé ó gbópọn jù ó ń gba àkókò iye ọdún tí àwọn dókítà ń lò iye ọdún tó ń lò ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ó ju gbogbo ti àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tó kù lọ so ó fi ṣe pé wọ́n ń làágùn láti lè dé torí ẹ̀mí ni wọ́n ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ so àṣìṣe wọn ó lè la ẹ̀mí lọ ọ̀ kó sọ èèyàn di aláàbọ̀ ara ẹ̀dẹ̀ wá wò nígbà téèyàn bá fi bí ọdún 7, 8, 9 tó fi kàwé ó máa náwó ó máa nára owó ilé owó oúnjẹ gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí ó fi dun ara ẹ̀ pé kóun lè di akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ nígbà tó bá wá di akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ tán kó wá di èèyàn tó yẹ pé á tún wá máa ní pé á ní àti ṣe iṣẹ́ àṣekúdórógbó kó tó di pé ó lè bá ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ míì là kó tó lè bá wọn dọ́gba ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó bomi tútù sí ọkàn wọn torí tí ẹ̀yẹn ká má tiẹ̀ ká yọ ti owó oṣù tán ń gbà sílẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ tá bá wò ó nípa ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ gan ó máa ń bomi tútù sí wọn lọ́kàn pé kí a rí aláìsàn kó yẹ pé wọn ò ní lè ṣe ìtọ́jú tó péye fún torí pé kò sí àwọn ẹ̀rọ tí wọ́n máa lò so ọ̀nà tí ìjọba fi ń kùnà ọ̀nà tó pọ̀ ni kìdẹ̀ ń ṣe ìjọba àpapọ̀ torí ìwọ̀nba péréte ní ilé ìwòsàn tó jẹ́ ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba àpapọ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ju ilé tó bá pọ̀ jù lájẹ́ 2 nípínlẹ̀ kan gbogbo ilé tó kù ti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ni so táwa máa darí ẹ̀bi púpọ̀ jù nú ẹ̀ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ la máa darí ẹ̀ sí torí àwọn ló ní ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé tó yẹ kó wà ní gbogbo local government kankan àwọn ló ní specialist hospital ilé ìsọ tánpé in general tó yẹ kó jẹ́ specialist but nígbà tẹ́ bá débẹ̀ general doctor lẹ́ máa bá ń bẹ̀ kò sí àwọn specialist mọ́ torí pé téèyàn máa fi di specialist lẹ́yìn ìwà tó bá kọ́ ọdún 9 nílé tán a tún kọ́ bí 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 kó tó di pé ó di specialist nígbà tó bá máa fi ṣe gbogbo làálàá yẹn ó yẹ kó máa gba owó ribiribi ni nígbà tó bá dẹ̀ rí ibi míì lórílẹ̀‐èdè míì tó yẹ pé wọ́n á ti kẹ́ tí wọ́n á ti gẹ̀ pé ibi tá a ti ṣiṣẹ́ ibi tó rọrùn ni wọ́n á tún wá fún ní owó tó rọrùn ta ló máa rí fà tí ò ní ko.
bí fà bá sì wọlé tán ní fàáfàá là á jí fà.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà torí mo ṣiṣẹ́ nílé ìwòsàn mo dẹ̀ rí kọta tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ilé ìwòsàn tí wọ́n tójú wọn tán fojú wọn rí nígbà míì àwọn ará ilé àwọn aláìsàn wọ́n máa fi kara mọ́ wọn àwọn fúnra wọn tẹ̀ mọ́ ọmọ nǹkan táwọn fúnra wọn gan tí wọ́n ń kojú so ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó burú jáì ní àkótán ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó lọ́dún yìí lift tó wà nínú LUTH ó já dókítà kan ó kú nínú ẹ̀ obìnrin lára àwọn tó ń kọ́ṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bí wọ́n ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ò tí ì túnṣe tó ẹ̀yẹn wá wò nígbà táwọn ará ẹ̀ tó kù bá kọ́ṣẹ́ tán ẹ wá rò pé wọ́n máa dúró ní LUTH kí ẹ̀mí wọn náà tún lè bọ́ lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tó ó pẹ́ àwọn nǹkan béye léyìí ó papọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn wa kán máa pòkè rọjà èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan mo ní àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n jẹ́ dókítà a sì ń béèrè èèyàn kan ní ọjọ́ Tuesday lẹ́gbọ́n ẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé ó ti wà ní India ó ti wà ní India ẹni lẹ́ni nígbà tó wà ní ilé ìwòsàn tó wà ní Ifẹ̀ èló ló ń gbà nísìnyí báyìí ilé tó wà ní India báwo lè tó ti fi ránṣẹ́ sílé Ọlọ́run kó wa yọ.
àmì o àdúrà ńlá nìyẹn àdúrà tó ṣe pàtàkì ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé tẹ́ bá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń tan móhùnmáwòrán yín tẹ́ mọ̀ pé kí ló ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní orí ìkànnì Western Spring Television ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní ọ̀rọ̀ sunukun òun náà ni ohun tí à ń fojú sunukun wò lọ́wọ́ ní àsìkò yìí ẹ má gbàgbé ìkànnì àádọ́wà channel 190 láwà lórí Star Times DTT ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun a tún wà lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára ní orí YouTube ẹ tẹ Western Spring Television ẹ má wàá gbàgbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wò wá òun ẹ bá wa dọ̀rẹ́ lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ayélujára wa ẹ tẹ̀lé wa bá wa rìn ní orí Facebook ìtàkùn ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ tẹ Western Spring Television ní orí X ẹ tẹ @Western Spring Television bódẹ̀ jẹ́ ní orí àwọn ìtàkùn ayélujára Instagram yóò gbogbo ẹ máa tẹ @Western Spring Television bí a bá lọ sí òdìkejì tí a bá dé ìjókòó ilé ọ̀hún yóò tẹ̀ síwájú ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nínú ilé ẹ̀yin náà máa gbìyànjú ojú òpó òun toró òun náà lẹ́yìn náà lè lò tẹ́ bá fẹ́ dá sọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń gbé yẹ̀wò ẹ ṣáà rí pé ẹ kúrò nídìí móhùnmáwòrán yín ká lè jọ gbé èrò tiwa kalẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń gbé yẹ̀wò lónìí bá a bá lọ tá a bá dé ìjókòó ilé yóò tẹ̀ síwájú à ń bọ̀.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ mi ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ. wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò ìgúnnigún.
Àbújá ni olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ọjọ́ kejìlá oṣù kejìlá ọdún 1991 ni wọ́n gbé ibùjókòó agbára Nàìjíríà kúrò nílùú Èkó lọ sílùú Àbújá lásìkò ìṣèjọba ológun ọ̀gágun fẹ̀yìntì Ibrahim Babangida. Ìlú Àbújá ní ìlú kẹjọ tí èrò pọ̀ sí jùlọ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ó sì jẹ́ ìlú olódi tó wà ní àárín gbùngbùn. Gbogbo àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ àti àjọ ìjọba kọ̀ọ̀kan ló ní olú ọ́fíìsì wọn nílùú Àbújá, gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ pé ibẹ̀ gan ni ibùjókòó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Lọ́dún 2003 ni àjọ Commonwealth gbé ìpàdé wọn wá síbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àjọ olókoòwò nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ṣe lọ́dún 2014. Kódà lọ́dún 2016 àjọ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé ìyẹn UNESCO gbà á gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibùdó ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ibùdó tó gbajúgbajà nílùú Àbújá ni àpáta agbára Aso Rock, ilé aṣòfin àpapọ̀, ilé aṣojúṣòfin ilẹ̀ yìí, àpáta Zuma Rock, Millennium Park, báńkì àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà CBN, mọ́ṣáláṣí àpapọ̀ àti ibùdó ilé ìjọsìn àpapọ̀ àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì. Ẹkùn ìdìbò 6 ló wà nílùú Àbújá: Abaji, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Kwali àti Abuja Municipal. Kílìṣì tó jẹ́ ohun ìpanu tí wọ́n fi ẹran pèsè ló jẹ́ oúnjẹ tó wọ́pọ̀ tí gbogbo èèyàn sì nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí nílùú Àbújá. Ó jẹ́ ibùdó ìsinmi fún ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn arìnrìn-àjò láti ẹkùn kọ̀ọ̀kan nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nítorí pé àárín gbùngbùn ló wà. Ìlú Àbújá rèé o, ibùdó agbára ìṣàkóso ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀.
Bẹ́gùn ò bá jáde mọ̀rìnwó la kọ́kọ́ rí, ọwọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ ní síwájú ìjó, ẹsẹ̀ katakata ní síwájú rìn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń gbúròó wa a tún ti dé náà nù. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Owambe Unlimited pẹ̀lú èmi ọmọ yín, olólùfẹ́ yín, ọ̀rẹ́ yín Suliat tẹ́túmọ̀ sí Mọ́rẹ́níkejì. Ẹ lè pè mí ní Sùsù, tó bá wẹ lómi a sọ pé ìyálòde àríyá. Gbogbo orúkọ tẹ́ ẹ bá pè mí kò sí èyí tí mi ò ní jẹ yín. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò Owambe Unlimited lórí ìkànnì Western Spring Television ní ìkànnì 190. Ibẹ̀ ni Owambe Unlimited ń bọ̀ wá. Ẹ fàpùrẹ̀ tẹ̀dí kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò àríyá wa.
Wọ́n sọ fún yín pé ẹ máa wo Owambe Unlimited lórí Western Spring Television.
Gbẹ̀bíró kílẹ̀mọ̀dàoro kọ́ọ̀dẹ́ má dìbò sí. bá ṣe gbé ètò yìí kalẹ̀ láti lè jẹ́ kóníkálukú fi ṣe òdiwọ̀n ìdílé wọn. òtítọ́ ọbẹ̀ ni pé kò sí ìdílé kan tí ò ní ìpèníjà tiẹ̀. ṣùgbọ́n àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni la fi ń tún ẹni ṣe. àti oníkálukú bá kọ sí ìpèníjà náà ìdílé yóò sọ bí ìdílé yóò ṣe rí. Gbẹ̀bíró ká finúkonú ká fi kùnlùkùn pẹ̀lú àwọn lọ́kọláya lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí ètò níbẹ̀ lọ́mọ Afọlábí ó ti mọ tàkó tó béèrè sí wọn láláì fìkan pé méjì lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń dá òwòwò sílẹ̀ nínú ìdílé. bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn àlejò náà yóò mọ jẹ́ ká mọ ọ̀nà tí wọ́n ń gbé gbà sílé wọn ò fi dàrú tí fi ń tò. Gbẹ̀bíró ẹ máa pàdé Múyìwá Afọlábí lórí ètò yìí ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta láago 8 òwúrọ̀ tí àtúntẹ̀rí ó sì tún máa wá láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ ní ìkànnì móhùnmáwòrán Western Spring Television ìkànnì 150 lórí StarTime. Gbẹ̀bíró tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ó máa yàtọ̀ ní kò ní yàtọ̀ fọ́.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ mi ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò ìgúnnigún ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò ìgúnnigún.
ẹ ṣeun gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí móhùnmáwòrán àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára. ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò náà lẹ́sìn ń wò lọ́wọ́ níkànnì Western Spring Television tó ń dé sí ojú ìwòran yín níkànnì 150 channel 190 lórí StarTimes DTT ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ṣe ń tọ́ móhùnmáwòrán yín àbẹ́yìn tẹ́ bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára tẹ́ wá wò pé kí ni à ń gbé yẹ̀wò lọ́wọ́ ní inú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Àná òde yìí ni ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Olóyè Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ lọ́gùn rẹ̀ tán pé ewu ń bẹ lóko lóńgẹ́ fúnra lára rẹ̀ ewu ni. Òun ní ọ̀rọ̀ bí ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yòókù ṣe ń ya bí eṣú lọ sí ilẹ̀ òkèrè ti di ohun tó ń pè fún àjọ tó nírònú. Ó ní ó yẹ kí ìjọba túbọ̀ mú ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn elétò ìlera àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera ní bàdà kí òpin ó lè dé bá bí òbítíbitì àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera àti àwọn dókítà ṣe ń dà gìrìgì lọ sílẹ̀ òkèrè. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà ni adarí àgbà ètò ìlera nílé ìwòsàn ìjọba àpapọ̀ FMC Abẹ́òkúta ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Adéwálé Musa Olómù ṣojú fún níbi ìpàdé ọlọ́dọọdún ẹgbẹ́ àwọn dókítà tó ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àmọ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ láwọn ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba nílẹ̀ yìí táwọn sí resident doctors. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí náà ní bí ìjọba lẹ́lẹ́kàǹkà bá kùnà láti wá wọ̀rọ̀ kò fi ṣe àdá sí ọ̀rọ̀ dídà gìrìgì àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera lọ sílẹ̀ òkèrè kí wọ́n sì mójútó ohun tó ń ṣokùnfà ìṣòro náà. Wọ́n ní ó ṣeé ṣe kí ọjọ́ iwájú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó wà nínú ewu ńláńlá. Ọjọ́ ti pẹ́ tí àwọn òǹwòye ti ń kọminú nípa ipò ẹlẹgẹ́ ipò ewu tí ẹ̀ka ètò ìlera ilẹ̀ yìí wà. Wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìwòsàn ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ló ti wà nípò akùdé. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìwòsàn ní olóhun èlò àálò láti fi tọ́jú àwọn aláìsàn. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìwòsàn ní àwọn dókítà ò ti ní irinṣẹ́ tó tó lánìító àti àníṣẹ́kù. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìwòsàn níye àwọn dókítà tó ń tọ́jú aláìsàn ti tó iye àwọn aláìsàn tó wá ń gbà tọ́jú ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Àtàwọn ìṣòro bíi owó oṣù tí ò rú gọ́gọ́ àtàwọn owó àjẹmọ́nú tí ò gbé pẹ́ẹ́lí eléyìí tí wọ́n níjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ń san fún àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera nílẹ̀ yìí. Àwọn ìbéèrè tó ń tawọ́ tasẹ̀ nù ìjókòó lé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tó ti di ọ̀rọ̀ kanlẹ̀ kan bá lé ohun tó bá kan orógùn ó ti kan ìgbákọ. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́, kí ló ń fa bí àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera ṣe ń túyáyá lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè fi orílẹ̀-èdè yìí sílẹ̀? Ìbéèrè kejì, irú àwọn ètò kóríyá wo níjọba lè ṣe fún àwọn dókítà àti àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ elétò ìlera tí yóò lè dẹ́kun bí wọ́n ṣe ń dà wìtìwìtì lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè lọ́mọ ṣiṣẹ́? Ìbéèrè kẹta tó kẹ́yìn, ǹjẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ bójúmu kí àwọn elétò ìlera ó kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tán ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà? Kódà àwọn míì tiẹ̀ gba ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ nínú àwọn dókítà náà kan wá gbé àwọn ọpọlọ àti àwọn ìmọ̀ yìí lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè lọ́mọ ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Àwọn ìbéèrè mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yìí ló jẹ́ àìláṣọ ọlọ́run pàká tó di ohun àpérò fún gbogbo ọmọ eriwo àwọn ọ̀nọ́rẹ́bù ní àsìkò tá a wà yìí. Ó yá o, àwọn ojú òpó tí à ń lò náà la ṣe ń lò. Ojú òpó àkọ́kọ́ ni 0806 0816 466 4844 0816 466 4844 tàbí 0913 259 9000 0913 259 9000. Ó yá o, ẹ̀yin ọ̀nọ́rẹ́bù tẹ wà nù kulu. Ọ̀nọ́rẹ́bù Èkómèrè, ó yá.
Mo kí Mr. Speaker, àpètò tèmi.
Ẹ ṣé o.
Tòun yóò ní jásí mọ́ lórúkọ Jésù.
Àmín o.
Ó dẹ̀ tó gba àwọn ojúgbà mi tí wọ́n ti ń sọ̀ látẹ̀kàn ọgbọ́n àtìmọ̀ àti òye ọ̀rọ̀ máa fi fún yín lórúkọ Jésù. Èmi ni Honorable Èkómèrè láti Àgùnbẹ́léwò. Ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé wá lónìí, ọ̀rọ̀ tó níye lórí ni tó dẹ̀ dáa. Ṣé ẹ rí, kò kí ń ṣe àwọn dókítà ló yẹ kán máa fìyà jẹ, ó yẹ kán máa tọ́jú àwọn dókítà because iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe iṣẹ́ ribiribi ni. Iṣẹ́ tí ó ń mú ẹ̀mí èèyàn tó fi ń jẹ́ kó ẹ̀mí wọn kó yè tí ò ní jẹ́ kí wọ́n kú ni. Àwọn dókítà yẹn ó yẹ kán máa tọ́jú wọn. Tẹ́pẹ́ wọ́n ń tọ́jú wọn ni wọn ò ní máa jápa. Àìtọ́jú wọn ló fà á tí everybody wọn fi ń jápa. Ẹ máa rí àwọn ọmọ schoolmate tí wọ́n á ti parí tán. Wọn ò ní ríṣẹ́, wọn ò ní rí everything, wọ́n á máa rìn káàkiri nígbà tó bá yá wọn á tún jápa. mo rọ àwọn ìjọba pé kán jọ tẹ́ bá dé iléeṣẹ́ mi àwọn iléeṣẹ́ mi tẹ́ bá débẹ̀ tó máa gbé àwọn patient wá síbẹ̀ wọn ò ní nǹkan tó máa fi tọ́jú wọn wọ́n á ṣe jáde lọ ra nǹkan kan tó dé ẹ̀mí ẹlòmíì ó lè ti lọ tí ó dẹ̀ yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mo rọ àwọn ìjọba kán jọ kán máa ṣàánú àwọn dókítà wa o ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní bàjẹ́ o.
àmì o Honorable Jamiu Semiu.
ó kí abẹnugan lé o ó kí akójanu lé mo sì kí akọ̀wé ilé náà ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò lónìí jó dàrú o èmi ni Honorable Comrade Jamiu Semiu láti ìlú Ìnísà tí mò ń sojú Odò Ọ̀tìn South àti Ọlọ́rundá lápapọ̀ local government tí mo tún jẹ́ ìmáàmù àgbà fún gbogbo ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò pátápátá abẹnugan lé ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ní ká dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣe pàtàkì ni tó dáa ni tẹ́ rí kọ́lọ́hún ṣàánú wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni àwọn ìjọba wa ó dàbẹ̀ pé bígbà tí wọn ò bá mọyì àwọn dókítà dáadáa ni mi ò sì rí wọn bá wí torí wípé lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ibi orílẹ̀‐èdè láti rí wípé bórí bá ń fọ́ ààrẹ kì í ṣe Nàìjíríà ni ó ti tọ́jú ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀dọ̀ bá ń do gómìnà Nàìjíríà kọ́ ni ó ti tọ́jú ẹ̀ ní òjé wọn mọyì àwọn dókítà lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí torí tó bá jẹ́ wípé orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ni wọ́n ti ń tọ́jú ara wọn ni wọ́n mọyì wọn ṣùgbọ́n nígbò jẹ́ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀dọ̀ bá ti ń dùn wọ́n báyìí tọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n aná rọ̀bíkà wọ́n ti tẹ bàálù létí wọ́n sì lọ tọ́jú ara wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà bá mú dókítà tí ń gbẹ̀mí àwa mẹ̀kúnnù àwa ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tí ń gbẹ̀mí wàhálà tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn òrówó ìlú òyìnbó lọ tí ẹ mú wọn tẹ́ ẹ̀ sanwó oṣù wọn bóun ò sì ní jápa bóun ò sì ní lọ ibi tí owó ti yọ èmi gan bí mo rí ibi tí ilẹ̀ ti dùn tèmi kò ní lọ ni ọlọ́mọ fìyà jẹ́wọ́ ọlọ́mọ jà jìyà àbí abẹnú gan kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ jìyà kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ láì rówó kò sẹ́ni tí wọ́n gbé iṣẹ́ fún láì nírinṣẹ́ tẹ́ bá wo inú kulú tá a wà yìí kámẹ́rà pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi ni ní tí wọ́n ń pè ní iṣẹ́ nìyẹn gbogbo ẹ̀ dúró dáa ara tí wọ́n ń pè ní iṣẹ́ nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó bá jẹ́ wípé àwọn dókítà ilé ìwòsàn kò sí irinṣẹ́ kò sí gbá kò sáwo ó dáa náà kí ni wọ́n fi ṣiṣẹ́ láwọn tẹ́ bẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ìjọba là á sọ fún kí wọ́n bá mójútó ilé ìwòsàn wa dáadáa torí irú àwa èmi àti Honorable Àbùsí Engineer Aríkéwì ọ̀gbọ́n àwa táwa ń bì Èkó Mary táwọn ò mọ ibi tá a fẹ́ lọ ju ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé tó wà ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ wa pé ká lọ mọ́ gbóògùn láràárọ̀ oògùn gan ẹ tí ì rí gbà náà ni sóògùn gan wà ń bẹ̀ náà ni ká tó wá wí pé wọ́n sanwó òṣìṣẹ́ ẹbẹ̀ kí àwọn ìjọba wa kí wọ́n bá mójútó ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí torí gbogbo àwọn dókítà ò sí ní hospital ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba mọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gan nígbà tí dá tiẹ̀ lẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Engineer Aríkéwì sọ ó tọ́ ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ti dá tiẹ̀ lẹ̀ ẹ bá ṣe délé ìwòsàn ìjọba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ò mọ̀ kọ̀wé pé ẹ lọ bí báyìí ibi báyìí lẹ́ ti lọ tọ́jú ara yín èyí ilé ìwòsàn tiẹ̀ tó jẹ́ aládàáni kò sì yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mo fẹ́ rọ̀ wọ́n kí wọ́n ṣàánú àwa mẹ̀kúnnù kí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa dáadáa kó mọ̀ jẹ́ wípé ńgbà tá a bá nídìí wa tó jẹ́ wípé tá a bá fẹ́ dìbò ìní wọ́n sẹ̀ máa tọ́jú lé wa káàkiri kí wọ́n mọ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ a rọ̀ wọ́n torí tọ́lọ́run kí wọ́n bá yáwó ṣètò ìlera dáadáa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun àti lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti ní gbogbo stéètì pátápátá àrọ̀ ìjọba ni orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ò ní dàrú.
àmín adúpẹ́ gedegede lọ́wọ́ yín Honorable Àbùsí náírà ó yá o.
mo kí Mr. Speaker o ẹ kú iṣẹ́ kú ètò ẹ ní dààmú tòní ò tún wá ní jáse mọ́ èmi ni Honorable Ganiyu Akeem Àbùsí náírà láti ìlú Ìbà mo kí gbogbo àwọn honorable mi tán wà nínú kuluwa yìí làákàyè yín ò ní dàrú tẹ́rí ojú tèmi fi wo ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ní ká gbé yẹ̀wò yìí ọ̀rọ̀ sùnùkùn ojú sùnùkùn la máa fi ń wò ní tí ààrẹ wa sọ orí sọ ààrẹ wa tó kọjá lọ yẹ bàbá Ọbásanjọ́ àmọ́ àwọn náà wà náà tán bá débi tá a dé lónìí torí pé foundation tán fi kalẹ̀ ní gbogbo wọn bá lọ ìgbà táwọn gan wà láàrẹ gan tán gan bá fẹ́ tọ́jú ara wọn gan àwọn gan ó travel ni àwọn gan ò lè sọ pé àwọn sùn lórí bẹ́ẹ̀dì Nàìjíríà pé wọ́n tọ́jú àwọn ń bì foundation tán fi lélẹ̀ náà ń lò lọ tí ó sì yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ àwa tá a dúró yìí táwa gan sọ̀rọ̀ nu kulu tá a dúró sí àwa gangan a máa ń sọ láàrin ara wa ntọ́ ọba ti ní gbà ló lówó tálíkà ni ó ti kọ́ torí pé gbogbo tí agbára èèyàn ò bá gbé kéèyàn mọ́ ṣàdéhùn rẹ̀ àwa tán wọ́n fìyà jẹ àní tí wọ́n bá fìyà jẹ ní Nàìjíríà ní bá a ṣe wà yìí tẹ́ bá mọ tí ojú olúkálukú ń rí ní skul kan tó parí kó tó di pé wọ́n wá tó ṣẹ̀ parí tán wọ́n tún wá ṣẹ̀ ń wáṣẹ́ káàkiri ẹ wòyà tí ẹlòmíì ò lo bí ọdún 10 lórí pé ó fẹ́ kàwé tó fẹ́ parí kínní.
Honourable Ganiyu Akeem Abusinera.
Yes sir.
mo fún àtọmọdé yín lẹ́nu honourable kan nawọ́ sókè láti inú ilé ẹ jẹ́ àgbé èrò tiwọn náà. hello ẹ káàsán o. kí lẹ kó kọyún lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Honourable Taiwo Asa Ileji rẹ̀ láti lo Ẹdẹ. ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹni tí á pẹ́ pẹ̀lú yìí ọ̀rọ̀ gidi ni. mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní ìjókòó lè tòní. tẹ rí àwọn olórí wa èmi máa sọ wípé ní wọn ò fẹ́ràn wa. tó bá jẹ́ wípé ní wọ́n fẹ́ràn wa ni kí ló dé tó jẹ́ wípé ní àwọn tọ́jà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ dókítọ̀ tí wọ́n fi ń lọ sí òkè òkun kí ló dé tí wọn ò fi lè ṣe ìpèsè gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣàmúlò rẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà tó fi jẹ́ wípé láwọn náà.
tó fi jẹ́ kí lẹ sọ ojú òpó ni o kì í ṣe látọ̀dọ̀ tiwa.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń bá lọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí eléjì rẹ̀ ń sọ lọ nílé yẹn n tó ń sọ náà ni pé tó bá jẹ́ pé bóyá wọ́n bá fún wa ní àwọn irinṣẹ́ tí àwọn dókítà lè máa lò ní bíbá yìí ní Nàìjíríà wa yìí kò sí ẹni tí ó fẹ́ travel nínú wọn kò sí instrument tí wọ́n máa lò náà nígbà tí ò bá sí irinṣẹ́ kí náà fi tọ́jú èèyàn ok àwọn hospital kan wà ńlẹ̀ ńsìn báyìí tó yẹ pé a ti mọṣẹ́ tán gùdù sí àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé tán máa ń fẹ́ sọ operation báyìí wọ́n gùdù pa yẹn tí wọ́n mọ̀ nìyẹn àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé téèyàn bá ń kú lọ tán bá ti rí pé ó ti fẹ́ kú tán gan wọ́n mọ bí wọ́n ṣe fún lọ́ksíjìn tára rẹ̀ ó fi yá tí gbogbo rẹ̀ ó fi wà padà àwọn kan ò sì ní oxygen kankan tán lè fún yàn ju pé káwọn sọ operation tiẹ̀ lọ olúkálùkù tí ẹ mọ̀ pé irinṣẹ́ yẹn ó jura wọn lọ ó ní irinṣẹ́ tó olúkálùkù ní káláwọn ìjọba wa bá fi àwọn irinṣẹ́ tó dá àwọn foundation irinṣẹ́ tó dá kalẹ̀ sí Nàìjíríà ni kò sẹ́ni tó travel nínú àwọn gan nígbà tó rí bá ń fọn ẹ lásán ẹ̀yin ò lọ gun bàálù ẹ̀ travel sàwọ́ ẹsẹ̀ èèyàn ni èèyàn làwa náà.
Honourable Speaker.
hello à ń gbọ́ yín o.
Honourable Taiwo Asa Ileji rẹ̀ ni láti lo Ẹdẹ. tẹ́ rí àwọn olórí wa wọn ò ṣe déédéé àní tí àwọn èèyàn béèrè tó jẹ́ sọ kí wọ́n máa ṣe fún gbogbo àwọn dókítà tí wọ́n ń jápa iná ṣé bó ní tí wọ́n ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn tí wọn ò ṣe nígbà tí wọn ò bá rí tí wọ́n béèrè fún wọ́n sáré ibi tọ́nà ó tún ti fi tọ́nà ó ti là tí àwọn olórí wa tí wọn ò ṣe déédéé lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yìí ẹ tí máa ń parọ́ fún yàn tí ó bá mọ̀ ṣé báwa tí wọ́n ń parọ́ fún ṣe bá a mọ̀ àní wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀tọ́ àwa mẹ̀kúnnù ó ṣe fún wa irú àwọn dókítà tí wọ́n ń jápa yìí gbẹ̀mí náà bá rí ibi tí mo lè jápa lọ tí mo mọ̀ pé yóò ṣètò rere fún mi dandan ni kí n lọ síbẹ̀ a ro àwọn olórí wa ohun tí kálukú wọn bá gbáyé ṣe a lọ jábọ̀ fẹ́lẹ́dùmarè o ẹ kó ètò Western State Television ní ìbàjẹ́ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní ìbàjẹ́.
àmín ẹ ṣé gan ni.
ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń bá lọ ká mọ̀ pẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ n tó ṣe kókó jù ni pé àwọn olórí wa a pè wọ́n ṣàkíyèsí ni kí wọ́n wá irinṣẹ́ tó dáa fáwọn dókítà wa níbí kò sí ẹni tó fẹ́ travel àìsíṣẹ́ kankan náà ni kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tí ò fẹ́ràn owó ọlọ́mọdé àṣìṣẹ́ ká mọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ lásán ta ni ó mọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ dálẹ̀ tí ò ní rówó tí ó wà níbẹ̀ lòun ó dúró sí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi gan bá ráàyè báyìí láti travel báyìí mi gan lọ.
ẹ wà fi àwọn ọlọ́rọ̀ bí yòókù lẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Ọlọ́run á máa pàdé lẹ́yìn ìsìn ni á máa pàdé lẹ́yìn ìsìn nu èmi náà ti jápa nu o kò sẹ́ni tí ò fẹ́ jápa so àwọn ìjọba wa là á bẹ̀ á wá bẹ ààrẹ wa níbi tó ń dá dúró dé torí ó ti sọ pé òun ló kàn báyìí a sì ti mọ̀ pé ó ti kàn án àmọ́ kó rántí àdéhùn tó ṣe fún gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà ara àdéhùn wa kò tí ì mú ọ̀rọ̀ epo ṣe rárá tó tún fi di pé ti ọ̀rọ̀ à ń jápa ẹ̀ tún wá kún so ìwọ̀nba àwọn tó tún wáyé kó tún máa tọ́jú wa tán dẹ̀ kọ́ṣẹ́ tán mọṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà yìí wọ́n tún wá tún travel àwa táwa jẹ́ mẹ̀kúnnù tá a jáwọ́ aráàlú àwo nídìí tọ́jú àwọn èèyàn náà ni ó tún wá lọ máa tọ́jú wọn ẹ máa wo ohun tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn wọ́n tún pàdé wọn lọ́ọ̀ ni o nígbà táwọn bá travel out pé wọ́n lọ tọ́jú ara wọn pé kankan sí wọn wọ́n tún wá pàdé ọmọ Nàìjíríà náà àwọn dókítà yẹn lọ́ọ̀ tó wá yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé àlójútì ni àwọn olórí wo lójútì pàápàá ó sì yẹ kán bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run gbogbo tó wá gbé láyé ṣe wọ́n jábọ̀ rẹ̀ fọlọ́run.
ó dáa ẹ ṣeun honourable wa kan náà wọ́n sókè lẹ́yìn ọ̀rọ̀ ká wọn lára ẹ bá fún wọn ní gbòǹgbò.
mo kí gbogbo ọmọlé, mo kí abẹnuganlé o,
ẹ ṣé o.
mo sì kí akójàánu, mo kí gbogbo ọmọlé. Orúkọ mi ní comrade Karim Wasiu, honorable comrade Karim Wasiu, comrade photo láti ìlú Ẹdẹ. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọlé, sẹ́ẹ̀rí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ni á dá sí lónìí, ọ̀rọ̀ tó tíìkì ni, tó dìpù gidi gan. Sẹ́ẹ̀rí àkọ́kọ́ náà, ọ̀nà méjì ni ó yà bá o. Yóò yà lọ́ọ̀dà àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba lé a lórí, àtàwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí náà yóò yà sọ́dọ̀ wa tíá náà. Àkọ́kọ́ náà, àtàwọn tí ń ṣèjọba àti àwọn tá a jọ ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè, a nífẹ̀ẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa rárá.
Lọ́nà wo?
Tí olórí bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ aráàlú, ìgbésí ayé ìrọ̀rùn yóò wà fún un. Ìgbọ́n tó lórí ò bá ti nífẹ̀ẹ́ aráàlú, tẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ bí ó ṣe wọ́n mọ̀ sí máa ṣèjọba wọn ni pé báwọn dókítà yẹn bá ṣe ń yapa lọ kò dáa lóòótọ́. Tòótọ́ náà tá a bá fojú wò ó, ẹni tó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ tó graduate lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa Nàìjíríà yìí láti wá lè ran orílẹ̀‐èdè ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ tó tún wá ní akókó tó wá traffic out lọ tó yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ìmọ̀ tọ́lọ́run fún ní orílẹ̀‐èdè wa yìí ibẹ̀ ló yẹ kó ti lò ó. Ṣùgbọ́n tí ìfi rí ẹbú tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn tí ń ṣèjọba lé a lórí tí wọ́n bá ń dùn wọ́n nínú ni kò lè máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó jẹ́ kí wọ́n sanwó àjẹmọ́nú fún wọn déédéé, owó oṣù wọn déédéé kakọ̀ ò fẹ́ẹ̀lì. Sẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ mo ò lè ronú pé bóyá wọn ó traffic out máa lọ síbi kankan. Àwọn ìjọba wa láwà bẹ́ẹ̀ kán jọ̀ dákun ọ̀nà tí wọ́n bá mọ̀ tí ìrọ̀rùn ó fi máa bá àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè onìkan máa san. Tẹ́ bá délé ìwòsàn ìjọba lónìí, tẹ́ bá délé ìwòsàn míì wọ́n á ní kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀dì lẹ́mọ̀, kò sí ààyè ńlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ gbìyànjú sí ju ẹ̀ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba. Dé bómi wọ́n á ní òsì dókítà ńlẹ̀, wọ́n á ní ilé ìwòsàn aládàáni wọ́n máa tọ́ka sí pé máa lọ bẹ̀. Sẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn tí ń ṣe olórí fún wa lónìí tó bá jẹ́ wípé ní orílẹ̀-èdè náà bá ti ń tọ́jú ara wọn ni gbogbo ilé ìwòsàn ò lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé ìjọ kan wà tẹ́ pé ara wọn olórí ó wà sọ́sibítà tásìrí ó tù. Ìbẹ̀rù ẹ yóò wà fún wọn ni pé ìjọba wa lábẹ́ kan jọ̀ dákun iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn yìí kò ní bàjẹ́ o, ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àti ìrọ̀tún ní kò ní já sí ni mọ́. A kí gbogbo ọmọ ilé o, láyọ̀ àtàláfíà gbogbo ó balẹ̀ o. A kí gan ni yes.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ yín. Gbogbo àwọn honorable ti sọ̀rọ̀ nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. A dúpẹ́ fún èrò tiyín, ìmọ̀ràn tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí a gbé yẹ̀wò lónìí nínú ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò. Torí a nígbàgbọ́ wípé bí kálukú ṣe sọ èrò tiẹ̀ tẹ́ sọ ìwòye tiyín, àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ kan náà ti di ohun aráàlú mú, wọ́n ti mọ ohun táráàlú ń fẹ́, wọ́n ti mọ nǹkan tí ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà ń béèrè. A nígbàgbọ́ wípé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yóò gba àtúntò àti àtúnṣe látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ jẹ́ kí honorable wa kan bá wa dá àbá kí a so ìjókòó ilé rọ̀. Honorable Abusi Naira.
Mo kí Mr. Speaker, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ kú ètò ẹ̀ ní dààmú, tòní ò tún wá ní jáse mọ́. Èmi ni honorable Ganiyu Akeem Abusi Naira láti ìlú Ìbà. Mo dábàá ká mú ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò tòní wá sópin títí di ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ.
Ọ̀dà ẹ ṣé honorable wa obìnrin tó nawọ́ sókè ẹ fáwọn káwọn náà bá wa dábàá.
Èmi ni honourable Adégbòye Faith láti Hallelujah Estate Òṣogbo. Mo kéjì àbá ká gbé ìjókòó àjọrò di ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀.
Ọ̀dà ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ gidigidi ní ọwọ́ yín. Amọ̀rírì gbogbo ẹ̀yin honourable wa lẹ́ǹkan sí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá tẹ́ fàsìkò yín lẹ̀, àdúpẹ́ gidigidi ní ọwọ́ yín. Iná ò ní tán owó yín o. Abudí ni ti olókun, àbòdí ni ti ọlọ́ṣà, ọwọ́ yín ò ní kan ìsàlẹ̀ àpò. A sì gbàdúrà wípé ńgbà torílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó bá dóhùn, wọn ní fẹ́nikẹ́ni ṣe àwátì inú wa. Nínú ìjókòó lé àwọn honorable mẹ́sàn-án tabaniaka honorable tó pè láti ilé náà mọ́, mẹ́sàn-án ló dá sí ohun tá a gbé yẹ̀wò pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ ìwòye àti ìmọ̀ràn lóníranran tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ lónìí. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ o, ọpọlọ yín ò ní jọba. Mo mọ rírì àwọn tó jẹ́ ikọ̀ tá a jọ ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀, àwọn amójú ẹ̀rọ, àwọn ayàwòrán, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ o, ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe. Ẹ má gbàgbé o, tó bá di ọjọ́ Ajé, àtúntẹ̀ ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò a máa wáyé láago 8 alẹ́. Fẹ́yìn tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá wò ní ọwọ́ aago 3 sí 4 tá a máa ń ṣe gbogbo ọjọ́ Ẹtì. Ẹ ṣeun o, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ olóòtú àgbà ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò Fẹ́mi Adéfìlà. Èmi tí mo jẹ́ abẹnugan fún ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ní Right Honourable Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé. Lẹ́yìn àbá látẹnu honourable Ganiyu Akeem Abusi Naira láti ìlú Ìbà tí Honourable Adegboye Faith láti ìlú Òṣogbo kejì Àbánà ni mo ń so ìjókòó ìlérò títí di ọjọ́ Ẹtì ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀.
ètò yìí tún ti dé o. ètò ìgbìmọ̀ àjọrò ló tún gorí afẹ́fẹ́ tọmọdé tàgbà ẹ súnmọ́ mi ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ sọ. Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé ló sọ wípé ohun abádìjọ́rò gígùn nígùn.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be showing on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
This is Neil, our 9th orphaned pangolin baby. Neil was born in captivity on the bushmeat table, and I was called. I dashed down there and rescued him. I was the one that removed his umbilical cord, and we've been feeding him on special formula. He's about 4 months old now. Neil, does that taste like food? How many people in the world have had their ear nuzzled by a pangolin? I feel lucky and I feel special. From when I was a very young child, I have always been interested in animals. So it wasn't very surprising that I became a veterinarian because I wanted to help animals. Also, I'm a wildlife conservationist. I rescue wildlife, rehabilitate, and release back to nature. And then in the process of growing up, I have come to realize that we have this very, very horrific attitude to the animals around us. Every animal is bushmeat. So instead of complaining about the situation, I wanted to try to cause a difference. And what better place to go to see these victims of the wildlife trade than the bushmeat market? The first time I visited the bushmeat market, nothing prepared me for what I saw. Table full of animals, different species that I didn't know we had in Nigeria, species that I had not seen alive. To see them dead on the table, it was a horrible experience, and I would always remember it till today. It breaks me every time seeing them like this and the horrible way they died. This guy is just beginning to start his life. He has a long way to go. In going to the bushmeat market, I realized that you see some live animals that can be rescued. When I started, I did not discriminate. Any animal in need, I get. But along the line, in one of my visits, I came across a strange creature. From the description of it, I quickly checked online and, whoa, pangolins. You mean we have pangolins here in Nigeria? I didn't know. The day I saw my first pangolin, I knew I was sold. And then by the time I got to know their status as threatened with extinction, I knew that something would have to be done to ensure that these lovely creatures do not go extinct in my time. Once you see a pangolin and you look into the eyes of a pangolin, you are caught up in pangolins. So how do you look into these eyes and turn your back on him? A lot of people do not know about pangolins, but it is the most widely traded mammal. Because of the interest in the pangolin for their scales, you have hunters that go into the bush exclusively for pangolins, to look for pangolins. So right now on the bushmeat table, you get average of 7, 9 pangolins every day. And that's what you see on the table. They are traded openly despite their CITES 1 protection level. The law enforcement do not even know about it, and this thing continues unabated. Convincing the bushmeat sellers, the hunters, the traders to let go is not a very easy thing, because once they have this animal, all they think of is money. Sadly, once in a while, it comes to that, especially when I see an animal and I say, look, I am going with this animal, I do whatever it takes. Okay, so adult female, 1.784. Adult male, about a year old. 1 inch gash on the right side of the head. One thing I found about the pangolin is the paucity of information. Very little on the white-bellied pangolin that we have here in Nigeria. So it has had to be more like learning on the job, trial by error. It's been very, very traumatic. I have come to learn that they don't do very well in captivity. When you get them, you rehabilitate, rehydrate, but you want to release as soon as possible. Lufasi is a protected park, and they have graciously granted me space. So what I did was to fence a portion of nature with the trees, anthills, good feeding sites for pangolins. So what we do is, after rescue and rehabilitation in the hospital, we bring to the rehab center and then we release them there. And it's actually the first of its kind in West Africa. And we're very proud to be at the forefront of pangolin rescue and rehabilitation in West Africa. Now, Sharon, I want to ask you something. What is the pangolin covered with?
Pangolins are covered with scales.
Yes.
And the scales are like the fingernails in our hands.
Some people believe that when they eat the scales, it will heal them and get them well. Do you think it makes sense?
No.
If somebody is sick and they eat the fingernails, do you think they'll get well?
No.
Why? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yes.
The most exciting thing for me in my rescue work is the point of release. It is almost spiritual for me. You get this heightened sense of accomplishment. You have assisted nature. You have taken something that was supposed to die due to the destructive activities of man, and you have successfully released back into nature. I might not be able to save all the animals in the world, but for this animal that I have saved and released back to the wild, it's the world to the animal. There's a tradition, a culture in Nigeria that refers to pangolins as idiots. They are not idiots. If only people knew how wise these guys are. One of the challenges is ignorance. People have the wrong information, misinformation. And what I have come to do is education. If we don't take care of these guys and they go extinct, the ant population is going to explode. One very, very interesting part of my work is what I'll call the pangolin orphanage. Lots of these pangolins, the females, they give birth in captivity. And at this point, they are usually very stressed, very weak. They usually don't make it. But these babies that are born, they are practically useless to the bushmeat sellers. So I have come to an arrangement with them. Whenever they have a newborn, they call me. Their reproduction rate is very, very slow. You get one pangolin pup being born every 18 months. The rate of removal is way higher than the rate of replacement. We have a very short window to fight this decline of pangolins. If we do not conserve our natural resources, if we do not save these animals around us, it's humanity that will suffer. When you save these animals, you're actually saving humanity. If we kill off all these animals, it will just be you and I looking at our ugly faces. It's not palatable.
Here are 5
amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Hello and welcome. It's another Monday, and every Monday is my privilege to come your way with your program, our program, on Western Spring Television, Agumpelewo Osogbo. We call it Pertinent Questions. We search for questions, and we look for men and women who have the authority to discuss issues that we bring. Last Friday was the 3rd of May. Since the year 1993, the United Nations has set aside the 3rd of every May as World Press Freedom Day. The purpose is to raise awareness of the importance of freedom of the press and also to guarantee that the public has access to information dissemination and free speech. The theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day, which is the 34th in the series, is A Press for the Planet, Journalism in the Face of the Environmental Crisis. It is a theme that relates the practice of journalism and places it in tandem with the biggest world problem today, namely climate change. On our program today, Pertinent Questions, we are focusing on journalism and media practice. I am Adetoye Shitu Alamu, your host. My guest is a veteran journalist who has practiced the profession from 1973, when he was a young reporter, until the year 2011, when he retired as the big boss. Kayode Adedire is a formidable name in broadcast journalism in this country. During his active days, he had the opportunity of visiting more than 15 countries in Europe and the Americas, all in training. He retired as Director General, Reality Television Iwo, in the year 2011. And since then, he is still very active and bouncing. He is the immediate past chairman, League of Veteran Journalists in Osun State. The old man is 72, but he's still not tired. He's still waxing stronger. It is this 72-year-old media professional who is my guest today on Pertinent Questions. I want to add that we may be retirees, but at a point in time in my life, he was my boss. So I have the opportunity of putting my boss on the hot seat and firing the questions. Welcome. We call him Saki.
Thank you, Smalley.
Yes, Nigerian journalism and press freedom. That's what we want to look at today. As a man who has been in the field and on the field all these years, let me say, the Reverend Henry Townsend's experiment in Abeokuta in the year 1859 introduced journalism to Nigerians. And taking off from that, has the press in Nigeria lived up to expectations since that time?
Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, viewers. Well, the question is wide-ranging. Yes, the press has lived up to expectation, particularly when you look at during the struggle for independence, the colonial period. You know, it goes without saying that part of the struggle that brought the country's independence was fought by the press. And it was a time when the entire press spoke with one voice. What was the voice? Voice of independence. Colonialism must end. And that was when active journalism started in this country, as far as I know. You know, with the advent of the Iwero in Abeokuta, you know, the evolution has been on and on, you know, up to the time television came into being, with the efforts of Chief Obafemi Awolowo in 1959, October 1959. And since then, there have been evolution within the press, within the media industry. So the press has been up and doing.
Good to hear that from a professional. Section 39, subsection 1 of our Constitution protects press freedom. But have we as a nation allowed this to be fully entrenched?
Yes. Press freedom, you see, it's a wide spectrum. When you talk of press freedom, there is freedom. There are many freedoms. Press freedom is one of the freedoms. We have freedom of association, freedom of religion, and more. Yes, Nigeria has relatively enjoyed press freedom. But one thing I keep saying, as one of my lecturers told me during my days at NIJ, between 1975 and 1977, that was Dr. Olu Onagorua. The same Dr. Olu Onagorua.
Who became a senior advocate.
Yes, became Attorney General during the time of Abacha. He was a lecturer in press law. He told us that no freedom is absolute. There is no freedom that is absolute, including press freedom, as he said it. And I also add to it that including life too, including opportunity to live. To live is also is a freedom, but it's not absolute.
Yeah.
That's why we have death.
Okay.
And in order to prevent early death, there are certain things you must do, you know, by way of healthy living and behaving responsibly. So there is no freedom is absolute. Press freedom is also not absolute. In fact, he told us further that every freedom has responsibilities. Okay. So when you abuse the responsibility, the freedom is withdrawn. So it affects press freedom also. There are certain responsibilities that are attached to press freedom. And that is where practitioners of the profession must be very, very careful. You know, people believe, yes, there's press freedom, you can just do anything. You cannot just do anything. Yeah. You must be guided by certain principles, certain rules, certain responsibilities. You know? And when one abuses the responsibilities, then that freedom becomes endangered. And that's why nowadays we find some pressmen running into problems. That is not to say that we have also had some government that are intolerable. They are not some. So we have had some governments that are anti-press. For instance, when the immediate past president came into power in 1984, that's the last day of 83. His first speech, I'm referring to the then General Muhammadu Buhari. The first thing he said is that I would tamper with press freedom, and he did tamper with it. That was what brought about Decree 4. You know, that made practice of journalism very, very difficult in this country at that time. Some of our colleagues were jailed, the likes of Tunde Thompson and Nduka Irabo. You know, for something ordinarily that should go for. I mean, what did they do? They were accused of disclosing in advance the list of ambassadors. Yeah. I mean, what is secret about that? But we had a government that was very intolerant. So it brought some difficulties in the practice of journalism. What I'm saying is that as pressmen, you must be very responsible. You must act responsibly in order not to fall foul of the law. And the governments that are intolerant and that decide to introduce some regulation and making practice of journalism difficult, I mean, they should be reminded that our laws have enough provisions to deal with irresponsible journalism. That's why we have the law of defamation. You know, if you are in the broadcast industry, you can be accused of slander. If you are in the press, you can be accused of libel. So you have enough provisions of the law in our statute. So government should not now come and introduce extra judicial issues into the practice of journalism.
Yes, I was going to ask, has the Nigerian nation allowed press freedom? I'm saying this in the context of the fact that the spirit behind the celebration of World Press Freedom Day is to enable journalists expose injustice, hold leaders accountable, and to a large extent also allow citizens to make informed decisions. Given these three dimensions, has our successive governments allowed press freedom to thrive? You have cited one, 1994. Have we, even up to today, we still have challenges? That's why I'm asking the question. Has Nigeria allowed true press freedom to prevail?
You mean Nigerian government?
Yes, the nation.
The nation. Well, you see, what we call journalism. Journalism is a process of trying to disclose certain information that some people want to cover up.
Yeah.
And so any government will want as much as possible to protect certain information. And the press will also try as much as possible to unveil this information that are being made secret. So along the line, there will be some friction, no doubt about it. There will be some collision. And it calls for responsible group, responsible organization, like the NUJ, like the Guild of Editors, all these bodies that are bodies that journalists belong to should be able to stand firm.
Guild of Editors.
Guild of Editors. Relatively, I think we have had good time to practice journalism in this country, relatively, compared with other countries we read where, you know, you have to, they are forced to practice a kind of guerrilla journalism. Relatively, this country has been fair to journalists. But occasionally you have some governments that have been, as I said, very intolerant.
The Abacha regime.
Abacha regime was one. I think Babangida also displayed some level of intolerance. And I think as of today, we can say we have something that is very close to.
I like the word you use, relatively. So because you still have one or two
yes,
instances.
Yes, we have. I mean, just, I think at present there's a journalist that is that has been detained illegally. I think it's Daniel Chukwu or what is the name? You know, what did he do? They accuse him of cyber. If you accuse a person of a crime, arrest him and charge him to court. I mean, that is what the law expects. But when some people now decide to use certain extrajudicial powers to now unlawfully or illegally detain individuals because they have done certain, no, I mean, no, it's not only for journalists. Every human being, when you offend the law, the best thing is to bring you before the law, defend yourself, not to just look at the Wansheku Adeniji, what was the name, who was incarcerated for so many weeks. People did not even know it's a
whole battalion of army, military had to go.
His whereabouts. That is not fair. So we saying relatively, we enjoy some measure of
using that. Picking on that word again, the journalist is a professional who has the responsibility of being the voice of the voiceless, bringing out the truth. Now, I want to limit it to Nigeria. Why do third world countries abandon, governments in third world countries try to prevent journalists from being the voice of truth?
Well, it's because of power drunkenness. Some people believe that as long as they get to power, they must be able to exercise that power in a way that will protect every aspect of their lives. And that is what journalism tries to undo. And when you have dictators in power, certainly you cannot have some measure of press freedom. So in the third world, we believe too much in power. At the moment we get to power, we believe we have all that it takes to suppress whatever information we want suppressed. And that is what brings out this friction between journalists and people in power. You see, when you have a governor or you have a president who believes in press freedom, you feel that air in that environment. What do I mean? I want to start an example in 1982, when some of us were taken away from NTA to begin this station, TSOS, Television Service of Oyo State, by late Uncle Bola Ige. You know, when that station came on board, we had Dr. Emi Farumbi as the chairman of that board, as the man who was assigned the responsibility of establishing a television station. And he did everything he could do to assemble at least some of the best brains around at that time. And luckily, you also have a governor who was very tolerant. Uncle Bola was very tolerant. Apparently because the man who headed the place, Dr. Emi Farumbi, Uncle Bola believed so much in him that whatever he told him was the truth. It's not as if Uncle Bola did not get some pressures from party faithful in quotes, you know, forcing him, look, Uncle, look, listen to what these people said last night. They are anti-government. What Uncle will do is that he'll get in touch with Dr. Farumbi, and Farumbi will analyze everything and will tell him what should be told, you know. At the end of the day, Uncle Bola will just forget all what those lackeys had told him. So it also depends on leadership. You know, when you have a leader that believes in professionalism, a leader that believes in people he leads, I think there will be less of this friction between government and the press.
A short while ago, you mentioned leaders in Nigeria who had attempted to gag the press in a way. You mentioned Babangida, you mentioned Abacha, you mentioned Buhari in his first coming. Given this scenario, to what extent did prolonged military rule in Nigeria serve as a threat to press freedom?
Well, it did serve as a threat. You see, military will remain military. Military, it's this dictatorship. And when you have dictatorship, press cannot function properly under dictatorship. So it was not surprising that during the military era, you have press muzzled. I mean, that's when you had the likes of Dele Giwa killed. We had so many people incarcerated, and we have even laws that were backdated in order to catch up with certain individuals.
In 1984.
1984, when you have the
Decree 2, Decree 4, etc., etc.
Yes, and we have the likes of Ogedegbe, that boy who was accused of drug peddling.
Bartholomew.
The decree was backdated in order to catch up with him. So we have this kind of scenario at that time. So the military really did bad things to press freedom in this country. And subsequently, the civilians that succeeded them also took some cue from that. If the military could do it and get away with it, why can't we also do it? And that is a bad habit anyway, because democracy believes in rule of law. And one of the essence of democracy is free press. So when you fight free press, you are fighting democracy. Democracy cannot sustain in a situation where there's no free press. So our leaders, as leaders in a democracy, should be able to differentiate themselves from dictatorship and democracy. You know, so we need free press to operate a proper democracy. And as I said, we are not doing badly now, although there are some areas that should be looked into.
Okay, now, all the pictures you have painted, the negative aspects, up to 1999, when prolonged military, I want you to draw some inferences. So far, in the last 24, 25 years that we have supposedly been under civilian democracy, civil rule, have we done well in press freedom? Have our journalists also done well?
Relatively, we have done well. And relatively also, our leaders have also done well. But we have seen instances where there have been some excesses, both from the side of the government and from the side of the press. And what has even compounded the situation now is the advent of social media. You know, where you have anybody who could get access to social media will now end up calling himself a journalist.
We will come to social media later.
So relatively, I would say we have done well, but we need to improve on it.
We will soon go on a break, but before we go on a break, I want you to answer this question. Agenda setting has, in recent times, become one of the roles of the media. Have we successfully upheld this new role as journalists? Setting agenda for government, setting agenda for the people.
We have not done much along that line, and we need to improve on that. You see,
why do you think we have not done much?
Well, I think the environment promotes the kind of how do I put it? You know, people constitute themselves informant to government, and that shouldn't be our role. You should be able to set agenda. Let me cite an example. I think in 19, when did Muritala die?
76.
76. A week before he died, Muritala died on a Friday. The Sunday preceding that week, there used to be a columnist. I think it's James Audu.
Yeah. He's also late.
Yeah, he's also late. That is Sunday column. I've forgotten the name of the column. He called the attention of the government to the porous nature of security that surrounded the head of state at that time. And he said something must be done about it. You know, Muritala lived a kind of carefree life, believing is so popular, nothing could happen. But on that Sunday, that column came
Friday.
out. On Friday, because of that porosity of the security around the head of state, he was killed, you know. And so that is one of the areas that journalists should look into. You should be able to look ahead. You should be able to project what could happen.
Yes.
And you know, that is what I want to refer to when Dr. Onagorua told us something. He says speculation is a legitimate business for good journalists. Okay. And he said speculation is that the imagination of a journalist must range unduly, must range. It need not be deadly accurate.
Okay.
But it must.
Yes. There could be a range, but he has speculated. Yes. Even if you get 60% speculation, that's
so. He says speculation is a good aspect of journalism. And what do you mean by speculation? To set agenda.
Yeah.
To let the public know the possibility of certain things happening and how to deal with them. So agenda setting is a salient aspect of the job of journalists.
Thank you very much. We will come back again to the viewer at home. In the studio with me has been Kayode Adedire, a veteran journalist who has been in journalism since 1973, retired as Director General, but still waxing stronger. And only recently, he was the chairman of the League of Journalists, League of Veteran Journalists in Osun State. Our second part will come, and we will continue with the discussion. Please don't go away.
Sadly, in Nigeria, we have less than 50 lions left in the wild. And even these are at risk from snares set for illegal bushmeat. So please, do your bit to protect our remaining wildlife. Say no to illegal bushmeat because poaching steals from us all.
Welcome back to Pertinent Questions on Western Spring Television, Osogbo. Kayode Adedire, veteran journalist.
kò ṣe é ìròyìn.
ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí mo kí yín ṣàlàáfíà lẹ́wà báwo ni dáadáa làwa náà wà lórí ètò Alásè láti kí yín níkànnì Western Spring Television. Ẹ ti mọ̀ pé lọ́tún lọ́jọ́ ń yọ bí labalábá bá sì ti roko aṣọ báyìí tuntun ló máa mú dé ní gbogbo ìgbà táwa bá ti wá sórí ètò Alásè. Ọ̀tún oúnjẹ ṣùgbọ́n ti rí lẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ mi báyìí ọ̀tún oúnjẹ tá mú kára yín máa dán ọ̀tún oúnjẹ tó máa jẹ́ kẹ́ máa yọ ẹ̀kẹ́kẹ́ wa lálàáfíà àti pé oúnjẹ tó tún máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ àpò yín tó wà economically friendly òun la máa ń kọ yín lórí ètò Alásè. Western Spring Television láwa ìkànnì àdọ́wà lórí Star Times. Mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò fún tòní lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ọba ló kọ àwọn ikọ̀ ètò yìí àti ẹ̀yin náà tẹ́ ti ń retí pé ìyá Alásè máa tó dé o wọ́n máa mú Alásè wá wọ́n tún máa kọ́ wa ní nǹkan tuntun. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa kíra wa pé a káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ẹ̀yin tẹlifíṣàn yín yẹn sókè dáadáa kẹ́ ẹ tún mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ lè bá akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ wá nǹkan tẹ́ fi máa kọ́ kẹ́ ẹ wá sí tòsí tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé yín wà pẹ̀lú wa lórí àwọn social media wa ni kò burú kò bàjẹ́ kó ra bold screen tẹ́ fi ń wò yẹn kójú yín kó lè rí gbogbo ẹ̀ kedere. Folúṣọ́ Olúwagbémiga ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè ìyá Alásè ló tún kí yín káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Alásè fún tòní. Ṣé ẹ gbàgbé àwọn tips tí mo máa ń fún yín lórí ètò yìí pé àkọ́kọ́ náà ẹ jẹ́ kí ìmọ́tótó kó mọ́ wa lára tá bá ti wà nílé ìdáná wa ẹ rí dájú pé gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ṣẹ̀ tónítóní nítorí ìlera wa ẹ jẹ́ máa jẹ oúnjẹ gidi lásìkò kó ń ṣe oúnjẹ gàkúá ó kéèyàn jẹ àjẹkì kọ́ là ń sọ ṣùgbọ́n níwọ̀n tún ìwọ̀nsì tó máa ṣàrà yín lóore. Alásè wà lórí ètò fún tòní o ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mi ò kí ń bá yín mú síbí ọjọ́ wo mo máa mú síbí tí màá kọ́ yín lóúnjẹ o ẹ jẹ́ kọjọ́ yẹn dènà ẹ má wọrí ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀ mo sì máa kọ́ yín lóúnjẹ ọjọ́ tí má dẹ̀ kọ́ yín yẹn oúnjẹ yẹn yín gan máa rí pé ó tún yàtọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n lénìí ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe bí ìṣe wa a ti wà nílé ìdáná Star Delight níbẹ̀ náà ni a wà lónìí lórí ètò àlejò wa náà dẹ̀ ti wà nítòsí ọlọ́wọ́ idán ni mò ń pè wọ́n torí pé wọ́n kàn ṣàmú gbogbo ẹ̀ àwọn kan tá a ti mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n á tún gbé gba ọ̀nà àrà tá a bá dẹ̀ máa jẹ́ wò báyìí ó máa ń débẹ̀ ni lórí ètò fún tòní àlejò wa ọlọ́wọ́ idán wa ó yá ẹ gbórí wọlé ẹ gbé bọ́dì wọlé ẹ gàrà tán ẹ fakọ sí bọ́tẹ́ má fakọ sí jù ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí ojú yín tún náà ju tọjọ́ yẹn lọ o ó pọ̀ ẹ ṣàrọra ìgbà tẹ́ bá ṣe táwa dórí tábìlì la máa mọ̀ bóyá ẹ ti gara sí of course èmi náà mọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ ṣe tèmi náà kárí ẹ bá kí àwọn ará ilé pé wọ́n tún káàbọ̀.
orúkọ mi ni Rúkà Bísọ́lá Ọlárìnwájú CEO Star Delight Restaurant.
ok ẹ káàbọ̀ CEO tó ṣáná CEO tó ṣàpropro CEO tó ṣe yàtì ó pọ̀ ok lórí ètò fún tòní ẹ̀yàn orí sábìlì wa ó tún kó ẹyin rèé gbogbo ẹ̀ rèé ẹ fẹ́ dín ẹyin fún wa ni àbí kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́nìí báyìí.
ní Yorùbá wọ́n máa pè ní dòdò arẹwà.
dòdò arẹwà.
but ní English wọ́n máa pè ní plantain frittata.
ẹ bá mi tún pè dáadáa.
plantain frittata.
plantain frittata tá a máa wo firifiri gbogbo ẹ̀ á máa kan firifiri. ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí ètò Alásè ẹ lọ bá mi wá báírò àti ìwé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ miss anything o kẹ́ ẹ rí i pé gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ ń kọ sílẹ̀ ó yẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé fáwọn èèyàn kí làwọn nǹkan tá a nílò.
a máa lo
ẹyin tútù ẹ rọra
àlùbọ́sà
àti gé orí
iyọ̀ àdìtún wa àdẹ̀dẹ̀ àwọn rodo èékánná àṣà tomato green pepper spring onion tá a ti gé sílẹ̀.
a máa gé àwọn ètò àlọ́ yìí náà a máa lò náà.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ kó jọ yìí àti ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ àgbagbà bí àbí nǹkan ní jẹ́ plantain òun ló lórí ẹ̀ àbí. ok kò sí wàhálà ẹ̀yin ará ilé ẹ mọ̀ pé mi ò kí ń kọjá àyè mi mo máa ń yọ̀ǹda àwọn tó ń mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ tèmi bá ti mú ajé yìí kò ní sọ tiwọn kẹ́yìn wò bọ́n ṣe máa ṣe ẹ jẹ́ kí n yọ̀ǹda ọlọ́wọ́ idán wa arábìnrin Rukayat CEO Star Delight kí wọ́n lọ sílé ìdáná kán lọ ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó mọ̀ ṣe gbogbo májíìkì wọn ẹ jẹ́ kán lọ ṣe kẹ́yìn máa wò wọ́n èmi máa fún yín láyè àtẹ̀yìn àti wọn kẹjọ wà lórí ètò next time tèmi bá máa padà dé tẹ́ máa rí mi báyìí ìdí tábìlì ni o oúnjẹ yìí ni kókó káwa ti máa jẹ ní tiwa ká dẹ̀ máa dán okay any nice time nílé ìdáná Alásè tẹ̀síwájú à ń padà bọ̀.
bí mọ́dù kọ́ ìmọ̀ síláṣà ẹ̀dá kálùsì wọn ọbẹ̀ kò sí ìdíkan tìǹní nígbà tẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni láfíntò ẹ̀yìn ṣe àti oníkálukú bá kọ sí ìpèníjà lóde yóò sọ bí ìdílé yóò ṣe rí gbẹ̀bìrò káfinúkonú káfikùnlukùn pẹ̀lú àwọn lọ́kọláya lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan lórí ètò níbẹ̀ lọ́mọ Afọlábí ó ti mọ tàkó tó béèrè sí wọn láláì fìkan pé méjì lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń dá òwòhòwò sílẹ̀ nínú ìdílé bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn àlejò náà yóò mọ jẹ́ ká mọ ọ̀nà wọn gbà dàbí tó gbẹ̀rọ ẹ mọ pàdé Múyìwá àfọlẹ́tì yìí ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta láago mẹ́jọ òwúrọ̀ tí àtúntò sì tún máa wá láàrin ọ̀kan ní múmùràn West Spring Television ìkádọ́wà lórí StarTime gbẹ̀bìrò tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí ó máa yàtọ̀ ní kò ní yàtọ̀ fọ́.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló ń kojú àwọn ará àdúgbò àwọn ará àwùjọ tí ohun ò dẹ̀ dókè ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìnira ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìyà làwọn èèyàn ń kojú rẹ̀ ní àdúgbò ojú ọ̀nà tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó iná ọba tó mẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe ségesège àwọn tó ń hu ìwà àbàṣejẹ́ obì tí ń sun lẹ́rùn àti àwọn nǹkan tí ò tí ì dé tí gbọ́ ìjọba ṣé wọ́n ní etí ọba nílé etí ọba lóko èèyàn náà ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ òun náà ló jẹ́ kí ìkànnì Western Spring Television gbé ètò tí ó jẹ́ kẹ́yìn ara lé ẹ̀yin ará àwùjọ kẹ́lẹ́ mọ́ sọ bí tí bàtà bá ti ń ta yín lẹ́sẹ̀ fún àwọn aláṣẹ ìjọba ohun tẹ́ ẹ ṣe ni wípé ẹ mú fóònù yín o ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yín ẹ dàbù rẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ yá ní gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ dàbù rẹ̀ ẹ ṣe àkàálẹ̀ ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó ìjọba ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó àwọn aláṣẹ ohun tó ń fẹ́ àmójútó àwọn elétò ìlera àwọn elétò ààbò àti àwọn míì tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn ẹ má jẹ́ kí fọ́nrán náà ìyẹn fídíò tẹ́ máa ṣe àkàálẹ̀ rẹ̀ kó mọ̀ ju ìṣẹ́jú 2 tàbí 3 lọ ẹ má fi ṣọwọ́ sí wa ní orí WhatsApp lórí ẹ̀rọ 0803 865 1049 0803 865 1049 ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn fọ́nrán yín àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yín gangan lẹ́jẹ́ ojú ẹlẹ́rìí ohun táwọn èèyàn nílò ohun tó ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn láwùjọ níyà ilé tí ò nílé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ ibi tí ò níbi tó ti ń da ẹ̀gbin nù tó wá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀gbin wọn ní àwọn ará àdúgbò àwọn aráàlú lára gbogbo ẹ̀ ẹ fi tó àwọn aláṣẹ létí ohun tẹ́ ẹ nílò ní agbègbè yín ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn aláṣẹ mọ̀ orúkọ mi ni Adéyẹmí Ọlábọ̀dé èmi ni atọ́kùn ètò ojú ẹlẹ́rìí One Television ìgbọ́dọ̀wá ìgbòho ọ̀dàdé láago 2:00 ọ̀sán.
mi ò fi iyọ̀ sí o mi ò sì fi àdídùn kankan sí ní báyìí òróró wa ti gbóná ṣe díẹ̀. á da àlùbọ́sà sí ní báyìí òróró wa ti wà lórí iná padà ẹyin wa ta ti da sọ́ọ̀sì sí ní inú òyìn á dà sórí iná ẹ jẹ́ kó spread dáadáa. a fi àlùbọ́sà lílọ̀ náà díẹ̀ sí i wọ́n láì fi fi sí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. àwọn àrà rò pọ̀ dáadáa tí mo fi mí sí papọ̀ àgbékalẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan lórí iná padà ẹyin wa tá a ti da sọ́ọ̀sì sí ní inú òyìn á dà sórí iná ẹ jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ dà ọ̀rọ̀ sí ọba rẹ̀ gan ni wọ́n fi ń pè ní lantin kàtà láìsí lórí orúkọ rẹ̀ àmì ìmú sábà mọ́ pẹ́ pè ní dòdò arẹwà torí ó rẹwà lójú àbí ó rẹwà. Gbà díẹ̀.
ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn gúúsù nàìjíríà ló kọ́kọ́ fún orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ní àtẹ̀móhùnmáwòrán ní oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 1959. ipa aṣíwájú yìí la tọ̀ tá a fi gbé iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán tuntun dìde ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tí yóò dá àrà ẹwà èdè àti ìgbélárugẹ àṣà wa padà sórí àtẹ̀móhùnmáwòrán yìí. Western Spring Television ó jáde bí ọmọ tuntun pẹ̀lú àwọn ètò tó nítumọ̀ tá a ṣe fún ìgbáyégbádùn yín. ìròyìn òdodo náà ò ní gbẹ̀yìn láti rí dájú pé àwùjọ wa ń tẹ̀síwájú ní ìlànà òtítọ́ àti ìṣe ọmọlúàbí. ibi gbogbo ni ọwọ́jà Western Spring Television ó dé ó sì wù wá kẹ́ ẹ fi wá ṣe ààyò yín kẹ́ ẹ gbárùkù tì wá kájọ fi ẹwà èdè àti àṣà tún ìtàn amóhùnmáwòrán kọ́ mi fi ní Adéfìlà. mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ gbárùkù tì wá kẹ́ ẹ gbáradì torí Western Spring Television bọ̀.
gbẹ́gun ọba jáde mọ̀rìnwó la kọ́kọ́ rí owó gẹ́gẹ́ ní síwájú ẹsẹ̀ kàtàkàtà ní síwájú rìn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń gbúrò wa a tún ti dé náà nù ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Owambe Unlimited pẹ̀lú èmi yìí olùfún ẹyin sí àtúmọ̀ sí mo rẹ́ni kejì ẹ lè ní sùn àwọn ẹlòmíì a sọ pé ìyálòdì àríyá gbogbo orúkọ tẹ́ ẹ bá pè mí tí mi ò ní jẹ́ ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò Owambe Unlimited lórí Western ní ìkànnì rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní Owambe Unlimited fún ẹ̀pà rated kẹ́ ẹ máa gbádùn ètò yìí.
wípé àwo Owambe Unlimited ní Western Spring Television.
ti ń retí náà dìé lẹ́ẹ̀kan nílé ìdáná ni mo ti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe àdójọ arẹwà fún wa àlejò ti wà lórí ètò pẹ̀lú wa a ti wà lórí tábìlì Starlight ti pitú ọwọ́ wọn bọ́n ṣe mọ̀ ọ́n ṣe báwọn ṣe máa ń pidán tí wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ kí kálukú ló níbi tó ti ń pidán tiẹ̀ ilé ìdáná ni dán tí wọ́n ọ̀gbẹ́ni Samuel Olú Adésínà Ayọ̀mí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ ṣé lórí ètò Alásè la wà ẹ bá mi kí àwọn aráalé ẹ jẹ́ kán mọ̀ yín kán lè mọ̀ pé lóòótọ́ ojúlówó yín gangan lálejò wa lórí ètò.
ẹ kú lé o gbogbo ilé orúkọ tèmi ni Sanusi Samuel Adésínà Ayọ̀mí èmi ni mo jẹ́ ayàwòrán àgbà fún iléeṣẹ́ House of Style. A máa ń ya fọ́tò ní ìlú Òṣogbo.
Ó ti ẹ máa ń yàwòrán, ẹ máa ń gbé tó dáa jáde lára àwọn èèyàn. Ní Star Delight tá a wà yìí náà lórí ètò Aláṣẹ, àwọn náà máa ń gbé tó dáa jáde láti ọwọ́ wọn, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin àlejò lè máa wá sọ bó ṣe dáa tó. Star Delight ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ẹ kú iṣẹ́, ẹ kú gbìyànjú látẹ̀kan. Kí lẹ ṣe fún wa ìgànnà?
plantain frittata.
Ẹ wá pè ní dòdò arẹwà. Torí pé kì í ṣe dòdò lásán, pé kákọ̀ dín ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ àgbagbà ní dòdò. Ok, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Samuel, ǹtẹ́ wá ṣe lórí ètò, mo yọ̀ǹda yín. Wọ́n ti bá yín kó ń tẹ́ fi jẹ́ síbẹ̀. Oúnjẹ eléyìnbó ló bá dé. Ẹnì ṣó, ẹ jẹ́ àwò, ẹ farabalẹ̀ o, ẹ jẹ́ màá fún yín lómi, ẹ mú mi sí, ẹ wá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá sọ bó ṣe rí. Ṣùgbọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wò lójú yìí, wọ́n ní plantain frittata, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń kù firifiri. Ẹ yára lé tẹ́ bá débi tá a wà yìí, ó ń kù firifiri. Mọ̀kàn ní nǹkan ń kù firifiri, ó ń ta sánsán ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àlejò wa ti fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ lámẹ̀tọ́ kan bá wa yẹ̀ wò báyìí. Ẹ máa wá ṣọ́ wọn, ẹ máa wò wọ́n. Ẹ má gbàgbé pé ẹ lè lo ẹyin àtàwọn ewébẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi. Ẹ̀yin náà ó dá mi lójú pé ti rí bọ́n ṣe ṣe é. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí ló wà lárọ̀ọ́wọ́tó wa. Mo dẹ̀ máa ń sọ fún yín, èmi ìyá Aláṣẹ ìmí ní kéèyàn kó wá kọ́ yín lóúnjẹ tó máa fà yín lápò ya rárá o. Oúnjẹ tó jẹ́ pé ó máa jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ àpò yín tí ò ní fà yín lápò ya, owó táṣọ́rẹ́ báyìí. Ẹ dẹ̀ máa jẹ nǹkan tó gbádùn. Mo rọra ń fẹ̀gbẹ́ ojú wo àlejò wa, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn tẹ̀lé, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ń sín ojú lóríṣiríṣi pé kíní ń wọlé. Ó dáa, kò burú kò bàjẹ́. Ó dáa, ẹ mú mi sí, ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́, ẹ rọra o, ẹ káàbọ̀. Àṣà àwọn ayàwòrán náà tiẹ̀ máa ń jẹun báyìí. Mo máa ń rò pé àwọn ayàwòrán ò kì í jẹun ni o, torí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ pátì ẹ ti yàwòrán lọ ẹ̀ nímọ̀gbà tí wọ́n bá ń pín oúnjẹ. Arẹwà plantain frittata, kí lẹ rí sí? Ó dùn. Wọ́n tún rẹ́rìn múṣẹ́ sọ ó dùn yẹn. Ok, tó bá yẹ pé ó dùn, ẹ wá ní ìbéèrè kankan, kò kù síbì kankan mọ́ ṣe serve yín yẹn. Kẹ́ ẹ tún mi kó, bóyá ká bá yín bu gàrí tì í, ká bu gàrí sómi kẹ́ ẹ fi mú.
Kí n máa jẹ lọ torí mi ò ní ìkọ̀kọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ, lọ́wọ́ rí pé ṣé ẹ lè kọ́ mi.
Ó di dandan. Kí ni iṣẹ́ tiwọn? Kò sí wàhálà, tẹ́yìn náà bá tún ti délé, kẹ́ tún jókòó, kẹ́ wo àkálẹ̀ ètò yìí. Àtúntẹ̀ rẹ̀ kẹ́ tún wò dáadáa, kẹ́ fi lè mọ bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe. Ó dáa, máàkì wa lórí ètò yìí, ó máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ látorí máàkì 1 sí 99, 99. Between 1 and 99, máàkì mélòó lẹ lè fún Star Delight fún oúnjẹ tí wọ́n ṣe yìí? Ẹ má ṣàánú wọn o, nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ jẹ ní kẹ́ fi fún wọn máàkù. 90, àádọ́rùn ni Yorùbá ń pè. Ìyẹn ni pé plantain frittata by Star Delight ó mú 90%. Star Delight ẹ tún kú iṣẹ́ tèmi. Ẹni bọ́n ṣe rẹ́rìn pé iṣẹ́ mi yọ. Ok, àmọ́ nǹkan tẹ̀lé irú ìgbà wo la lè jẹ oúnjẹ yìí? Ẹ sọ yẹn fún wa o. Ṣé ẹyin tó wà nú ẹ̀ ṣé kò bá ara wí lálẹ́? Ọmọdé àtàgbàlagbà ńkọ́? Fún wọn. Wọ́n fi gbó lélẹ̀. Kẹfì tẹ́, ìyẹn ni pé kò sígbà tá a lè fi jẹ, ó dẹ̀ rọrùn láti ṣe. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n yọ̀ǹda yín, ayàwòrán wa arákùnrin Samuel, ẹ mọ ọjọ́ oúnjẹ yín ṣòwò, ẹ jẹ́ káwa máa bá yòókù ètò lọ torí ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni gbogbo nǹkan tán bù síwájú yín. Star Delight ẹ ṣe gan ni, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà lórí ètò ìlágbára Ọlọ́run, á máa ju yín ṣe o. Ẹ bá mi kí àwọn olólùfẹ́ yín, tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ nímọ̀ràn míì tẹ́ fẹ́ fáwọn olólùfẹ́ yín, especially lórí oúnjẹ tẹ́ sè lónìí, àyè wà fún yín láti sọ fún wọn.
Ẹ ṣe gan mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, ẹ ṣe ń wò wá báyìí, ojú yín ò ní fọ́, etí yín ò dẹ̀ yín.
Àmín.
Àwọn oúnjẹ tá à ń sè fún yín kò wọ́n jù, níta lè máa ṣe náà, níta bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká kọ́ yín náà kò sí wàhálà. Star Delight wà fún yín. Iléeṣẹ́ Western Spring TV television, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o.
Kò burú, ẹ ṣe gan ni, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà, ẹ̀yin ní ká kí o. Wọ́n ń jẹun lọ́wọ́ wọn ní rẹ́nu dáhùn. Ó dá ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi lórí ètò Aláṣẹ, ṣẹ́yìn náà rí tòní, ẹ̀rí pàlejò wa wọn tiẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan kan mọ́, wọ́n ti ń gún ọ̀sán tẹ́ fi máa mọ̀ pé oúnjẹ yẹn gún régé ni. Ẹ̀yin náà ẹ lọ gbìyànjú ẹ̀, mo máa ń sọ fún yín, ẹ má kàn máa wò lásán, ẹ bọ́ sọ́jà àwọn nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí, ẹ béèrè àlàyé, tẹ́ bá ní comment ẹ fi sí comment section, ẹ béèrè àlàyé kan sí wa, a máa jẹ́ kó yé yín ibi náà ni àti mama ṣẹ́rí padà wálé lórí ètò Alásè fún tòní plantain frittata dodo arẹwà tó ní ewébẹ̀ nínú òun la sè lórí ètò lónìí lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ọba lóko àwọn ikọ̀ tá a jọ kọ́wọ́rìn lórí ètò yàtẹ̀yìn náà tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ni mo fi ń kí yín pé ẹ ṣé gan ni àjọṣe wa ò ní bàjẹ́. Folúṣọ́ Olúwagbémiga ìyá ìjọ pèdèpèdè ìyá Alásè ló sọ fún yín pé ẹ jẹ́ ká máa jẹun tó dáa o oúnjẹ gidi ọ̀rẹ́ àwọ̀ ni ó dàbọ̀.